Let me ask you this. Do you see games differently now that you've gotten a bit older? I've always loved exploring every inch of these worlds, but lately, I've been looking through a different kind of lens. I now view these timeless locations through the eyes of an irresponsible adult. I know it's quite high up, but I would love a Corona. And mate, becoming an adult is difficult enough. We all deserve a beer from time to time. I know Link certainly does after his arduous quest.
Can't believe Link had to go to Croydon.
Last time out we explored Twilight Princess, and there were some ace locations. This is the same Hyrule, but several hundred years in the past. A legendary destination with incredible spots to uncover. So, let's walk in the footsteps of Hyrule's greatest hero so that we can finally answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Ocarina of Time? I'm not going alone. I've got special guests James and Lorenzo. They've never played this game, so they've got a fresh perspective. The premise of this game is that it's all nice when you're a kid, and when you grow up, everything's just
Story of my life.
This might be an odd way of doing things, but I'm going to start at Hyrule Castle. In my Wind Waker and Twilight Princess quests, this area has always been off limits. But in the child timeline, don't worry, we'll get to the adult one later, this is a splendid location, mate. In real life, one of the best places you could ever have a beer is a garden. Whether it's your garden, a friend's garden, or of course, the local pub garden. My garden is a bit quaint, but it's still one of my favourite spots. So by comparison, a castle courtyard with water features, a couple of hidden rupees to stick on the fruities, and guards securing the premises is a no-brainer high-tier spot. However, the security is a bit of a double-edged sword. The coppers will boot you out if you get a bit leery. A quick word of warning before the next segment. We tried to review Castletown, but honestly, we just ended up talking absolute bollocks. Proceed with caution.
She gets on top of it like I'm a fucking, I don't know, like a go-kart.
Mate, do you know what annoys me in real life? I don't have man hands.
Let me show you my hands.
Send me a pic of your hands. That's the worst photo of a hand I've ever seen.
I got commented on my hands once on a night out. It said, "Oh, you've got real nice." I was like, "Thanks, I bite my cuticles."
Yeah, that's a hand. That's a hand.
Mate, you need to start bricklaying or something. Mate, why is the low-key goth mummies in the shop? She's got green eyes, it's over, bruv.
How do you feel about a back alley beer?
This is the kind of place you go to see the local Albanian.
What do you see the local Albanian for?
Well, I don't see him for anything personally, because I don't see him for anything personally, but certain people might be visiting the local Albanian
for other reasons.
For other reasons, I suppose.
Let me show you some of the miscellaneous spots in Hyrule Field. Of course, there's the classic. Climb up the drawbridge chains, and you've got a lovely view of Lon Lon Ranch. Not great seating up here though. I'm a big fan of the underground grottos, particularly this one with this little fish fella to keep me company. This is where I keep all of my important things. If you want to escape the hustle and bustle, around the corner of Hyrule Castle is one of the best spots to be at. Can't beat the sound of running water, and no one to bother you. If you take a journey over to the other side of the field, you'll find a nice little forest area. Now this is a prime JBL speaker and special brew spot, but unfortunately, you've got these giant flying knobheads knocking about. Some quick ones, but definitely some good ones. Next up, we've got one of the cozier settings on offer, and perhaps a contender for the best individual spot. Kakariko Village is actually one of the most interesting places that changes between ages. Child Link explores a work in progress, but once you become an adult, the once barren building conveniently becomes the new bargain booze. Which in this scenario is fine by me. The village is wonderful, and the additions of an off-license really completes it. So now you've picked up your 6-pack of red potion, where are you going to drink it? I know for a fact it isn't the House of Skulltula. This is like when you go to one of them proper nitty afters. I'd keep your drink covered at all times, or you might end up in the cow cage. No. Now that we're out of there, I can unveil my number one pick for the village. The perfect spot is with the chillest guy ever on top of his house. He knows how to live. 7 straight years this fella's been stretched out on top of this woodwork, and for good reason too. It's just high enough up to get a grand view of Death Mountain and spectate the swirly clouds going around. If you can land yourself a seat here in the late afternoon, it's a mint spot to be. Our last location is inside of the windmill. I like live music as much as you do, but in the adult timeline, there's a slight bit of animosity going on. All of the non-stop spinning and lack of sunlight from any windows would send me west. And the bloke's not even got any shoes on. He's asking for a splinter. Far too dangerous for my liking. Let's get out of here, shall we? Adjacent to the village we have the graveyard, which you would assume is a bit of a no-go. Of course we're respectful to the dead. We're not having a piss up on the tombstones. But one of my life goals is to have a nice allotment one day, specifically with a shed on it. You know when you can just chill in there with a tinny, no one to disturb you? Darnpay's shed gives me that vibe. A little hut with the smell of wood goes as my sleeper pick for the video. It has to be better than the nearby dungeon at the very least. You see, Death Mountain is a lesson to me that sometimes we should appreciate certain things from a distance. There's a few places we've got to have a gander at. First, there's Dodongo's Cavern, which is a no, for fairly obvious, straightforward danger reasons.
The average American viewer might not know, but this is what happens when you go to Edinburgh Castle.
It's true. I've never been to Edinburgh Castle.
It's on the top of an extinct volcano.
Is it? Edinburgh?
Arthur Seat's an extinct volcano.
Nah.
On my nana's backy tin, bruv.
On your nana's backy tin.
My nana just leaves smoke. I don't even have a nana, I have two grandmas.
Then we've got the Fire Temple, which actually has quite an interesting foyer. I do love a flame or two. Gives me some cozy local pub vibes. Some may enjoy a whiskey by the fireplace, you know. However, that atmosphere is quickly extinguished by the flaming bats. Mate, the Gorons of this era really weren't all there, were they? There's about 6 of these fellas knocking about, all face down, doing absolutely nothing. Feels prehistoric, especially compared to the future Gorons. So the temple's got nothing, the city's got nothing, and the cavern's got nothing. But the shining star on top of the mountain for me has to be the big Goron. This fella is the real reason to come here. Sound as a pound chap. Just make sure you bring him a really big red stripe when he's done making your sword. Tell you what, let's head home. Kokiri Forest on paper is an absolute belter of a location.
Can we just take into account that you just fucking backflipped off a ladder?
We've got scenic ledges, we've got running water, and we've got peaceful nature. But there's one big problem. It's full to the brim with kids. Look, we can't be silly here, we've got to set a good example for the youth. So all of this area is out of bounds for boozing. That leaves us with one option. We must embark on a journey to go to somewhere that only the adults can reach. And to get there, we've got to go through the Lost Woods. This place reminds me of an experience I had a long time ago. I once drank a London Stout on draft. Later that night when I got home, I was in the shower. When I was clean, I tried to get out. I walked over to the door and I teleported right back in. So I tried it again. One leg out, teleported back in. Let's try it again. One leg out, 2 leg out, walk to the door, teleport right back in. This went on for hours. Terrifying. I don't know what was going on in my brain. That's what the Lost Woods remind me of. And that's the last possible place I'd want to be drinking a beer. Once we're finally through, our next destination has even worse problems. The bouncers aren't friendly, and the temple we've been searching for isn't as peaceful as I'd hoped. My god, the guys from the Skulltula hut must have slipped something in my beer. It's time to do one, let's go. We've had fire, and we've had forest. Maybe the water will treat us a bit better. Is it just me, or does Zora's Domain feel a bit like a leisure centre swimming pool? I think it's the nice reflection effect on the wall. I'm going to repeat a point I made on the Twilight Princess video. My guilty pleasure is a watery beer, and I feel like you'd want that in a watery place. Like, come on, we're not splitting the G here. Nothing too heavy on the belly if you're going to go swimming. You've got to pick the right beer for the right job. And the context of where you are really matters. But apart from the cliff diving and paddling about, it's a bit limited in here. The real gold is found outside. If you're feeling daring, you can navigate through the ice caverns, and you'll be rewarded with a wonderful illuminated room. It's a bit chilly, but worth it because of its party piece. A small square of the coldest water you'll find. Float your 6-pack in here, and you'll have the crispiest ice-chilled beers within minutes. Oh, and in case you were wondering about Jabba Jabu's belly, no. Following our aquatic theme, let's paddle down to Lake Hylia. This is the Kabagman Power Hour again, if you hadn't already noticed. It's currently Friday night, 11:30. Sometimes you need a Cronenberg or two, you know? Hanging out by the water's got a bit of a personal connection to me. I used to have a friend a long time ago. We'd routinely head to the water, and we didn't have nothing. I mean, we had a pack of Uno cards and a couple of drinks, but that's all we'd need. Through that person, I learned that you can really do whatever you want in life. There's nothing stopping you from taking a beer to the local body of water and just hanging out. I might not be making these ridiculous video premises had I not learned that. It's funny, innit? It's like all we do in life is work and grind away all year, completely in pursuit of relaxing by some kind of water. Be it a pool, a sea, or a lake. Maybe those folks on the floating villages have got it right. Anyway, being prompted to think about all of these things just by looking at this one lake means that it's probably an incredible spot for a beer. I'm not even capping, he does look a bit like you.
Yeah, he actually does. He actually does.
Let's have a quick peek in the fishing hole. This was my nostalgia pick for Twilight Princess. It's a little bit more bare bones here, but it really lives up to the name fishing hole, you know? You got your pond, you've got your fish, and you've got the ancient Hylian master fisherman with a ridiculously itchy armpit. You already know it's a top tier spot, come on. Oh mate, is this the best Zelda soundtrack? The Gerudo Valley is our first hot location. We all love a sol in the sun, don't we? The bridge is the most scenic of the spots. Make sure you've packed your super box on Epona before you head off, because once you get here, there's not much in the way of refrigeration, and there's not much worse than a warm beer. If it does get too hot though, at least you can hurtle yourself off into the drink below. Not advised. A little bit further down the road is the Fortress. You'd think they'd have an on-site bar, wouldn't you? But the whole place is a bit too hostile. Like when you walk into a real local pub and you ain't from the area, you get in stairs and you'll have one and go. I'd advise skipping here and moving on to the Haunted Wasteland. Some sentence that is. Most good things in life come after hard work. You can't have reward all of the time. Sometimes you need a journey and a battle. If you can manage to best the environment, you'll end up at the Desert Colossus. You'd like to think you'd be rewarded for your arduous journey, wouldn't you? There was an oasis, we've got the coconut trees and the vessel for some water, but without actually having said water. It's just a hole in sand. A real letdown, honestly. It's going to the bottom. Can't believe we've been robbed of a desert oasis beer. As we head to our final location, I'd like to thank you for watching. It's been more of a personal ramble than in previous videos, but I hope you enjoyed it still. Lon Lon Ranch feels like victory. You won. You're on the ranch, having a beer. Although I do have one question. How did they manage to get the cows through the door? Kinda big. For the great simplicities in life, this is the very best. There's no particular reason that I could tell you. It's just the feeling. The characters gather here in the credits of the game, and I'm giving Lon Lon Ranch the credit of being the best spot for a beer in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
No, so I've come back home. Kathy's gone shopping, so I'm going to sit here and have a glass of beer.
Oh, fucking brilliant. What are you drinking? Bud?
Yes, it'll be Bud, mate. So,
Yeah, best beer.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'll leave you to get on with your work, mate.
Does life ever just feel like one problem after another? For a time traveller, the hero of time can't seem to catch a break, spends his entire youth saving Hyrule, and then for the first time embarks on his own quest, only to get jumped by some bozo and end up having to save the world once again. It would have been way easier to sack this all off and go down to the pub, but a beer always tastes sweeter after a hard day or three's work. So let's save this world, because there's a plethora of fantastic places that we can drink this hard-earned beer. The land of Termina provides us with so many different areas and atmospheres, we just have to figure out which one's the greatest. Today we'll explore them all, but I'm not alone. The boys will pop in and out to share their invaluable insight.
That looks like me in the morning after 12 cans of Red Stripe and a very salty Chinese takeaway.
And with help from the good folk in the Discord, we're going to once again answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Majora's Mask? We begin with Termina Field, which I'm going to label as the sightseer's beer of choice. Look at these 4 different views you can get just with a short stroll of the city gates. Great to sit by the walls and escape the hustle of the town without being in any grave danger, because when you take a step too far outside, that's when problems arise. The beachfront is far too busy. You'll be hopped out by the local slugs relentlessly. Trying to relax here is like trying to find a spot in Skegness Beach in July. The peaceful grottos of Hyrule Field are gone. Instead here, we have the dens of big lizards, or a set of gossip stones, only serving to remind you of the impending Armageddon. Doesn't exactly entice me to crack open a bevy, but it does remind me that we don't have all day. Let's get a wiggle on and get into the woods. Now, you may not expect a swamp to hold much of anything, but you'd be wrong. If you can navigate past the nasty plant, you'll come across the shooting gallery. In the UK lately, there seems to be a lot of axe-throwing establishments popping up, and the gallery is giving me that kind of vibe, especially because the bloke running the gaff is British. He just called me mate and misses out half the letters in most words. He's one of us, and because he's British, that obviously means he keeps a crate of John Smith's in stock. It would be a disservice to my country to not have a beer here. I'm not entirely convinced about mowing down the local wildlife, but hey, when in Rome. A bit further up the road, we've got the potion shop. Granted, I wouldn't enjoy climbing up these after 5 beers, but maybe if you can't manage the ladder, it's time to put the bottles away for the night anyway. Inside you'll find a lovely young lady selling only the finest. Now that's how you know it's a weird place. Beers aside though, what a wonderful place to have a business. Out in a little valley with a private waterfall. Splendid. We'll dodge the mysterious woods for now. If you've watched my Ocarina of Time video, my thoughts are the same as the Lost Woods. Give it a gander once you finish this video. Now here's where things get a bit more complicated. After disposing of the giant Octo, we've got the Palace. The rules of these videos dictates that the music can be heard, and therefore dictates scoring. The track playing makes me uneasy, like when you're on holiday and you've gone somewhere a bit outside of your comfort zone. You really start to feel like a tourist. I mean, not to mention the display of a monkey tied to a stick. The vibes are all sorts of off. You need to be sober, on red alert, and have your wits about you, especially if you're to navigate past the guards to reach the home of the bean salesman. Something tells me he's feeling green. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a chilled hidey hole, but it might be more of an STP. That leaves us with Woodfall. It would take an expert salesman to convince me that there's much to enjoy here pre-salvation. But once you've bested Odolwa, things start to change. Life has sprung back into the area. It was once a boggy marsh, but now it's more tropical paradise. I mean, obviously I'm British, so it had to rain. The best way to enjoy your hard work restoring the area is to go on a boat ride. We all know that a beer on a boat is top tier. I took a catamaran trip with my friends in Spain a few years ago. I can confirm that firsthand, this is good. Take me back. Let's continue in a clockwise manner. Great Bay has a lot going for it. Beer on the beach practically speaks for itself, but let me give you the nuance. You know those jarring slug fellas? It's like they know their place here. If you stand on a beach towel, they won't bother you. Kind of like an anti-sea bear circle. Question to the audience quickly. What's the best beer for the beach? I'm going with Corona. The most golden beer in the Golden Sun. A big contender for the worst place for a beer goes to the Spider Hut. Damp, dark cube of concrete is not the vibe. You might find a certain type of person with some special brews here. A spot for beer can be made or broken by the people that inhabit it. Thankfully, Great Bay is home to the Zoras, and in this game, they're proper sound. It's always nice to meet new types of people and end up getting on with them. I recently took a road trip to Germany. Sank some beers while speaking some broken English at the local bar with my new German friends. P.S. The Highlander is the best spot for a beer in Mayen. Perhaps the greatest location of this area is the Zora Hall. The main attraction being the live music, which personally I've always thought is a double-edged sword. It has to match the atmosphere, but thankfully, the music here is nothing too crazy. Just a couple of acoustics to make a nice subtle ambience. Maybe perch a seat up with your pals at the top, and pack with you maybe an Estrella. But don't go too crazy. This is a classy place. Let's treat it with some respect. Fun tidbit for you, Bossa Nova just means new wave. So the new wave Bossa Nova just means new wave, new wave. And if you're looking to get into Bossa Nova, start with the song The Girl from Ipanema. This is probably one of the most famous songs in the world. I'd somehow never heard of it until a few years back. Give it a listen. But let me tell you about my all-time favourite beer activity, Nothing comes close to playing cards. And we've got the perfect setup right here. Chairs, table, good lighting, all you need. Screaming at your mates over a game of Uno is unparalleled. The Zora Hall overall is pure quality. Not sure about the doorman though. If you're feeling brave enough to hookshot onto the turtle, you'll find yourself at the Great Bay Temple. There's a specific memory this reminds me of. I went to a rave in a warehouse on the docks of Liverpool. You see those droplets coming from the ceiling? The rave was so hot, the sweat from everyone evaporated and rained down on us. Not pleasant, but to be fair, might be better than an actual dungeon. I was swindled into taking a trip to the Pirates Cove. I was reassured by one of my Zora pals that there would be beautiful women here. But there's a strict no blokes policy, and to be honest, we're not missing out on a whole lot unless you're interested in indoor explosives and getting chucked out of 2-story windows. That leaves us with 2 final locations for the area. Firstly, there's the Marine Research Facility. The big fish in the tank remind me of my old mate, Billy the Fish, appropriately named Billy No Mates, because he would try and eat everyone in the same tank. But he was a good lad. If you sat at the kitchen table, he would stare ominously at you whilst you ate your dinner. Good fella. This isn't quite a boozer, but an interesting place. James, do you think that looks like Lorenzo's dad?
The Batman! It is me, Eduardo!
You know, Ed watched my videos the other day. He was impressed.
That's quite the badge of honour.
I've gone from being fat Harry Potter to saying that he likes my videos.
Fat Harry Potter.
He said that to my face. Kubagma, you look like a fat Harry Potter, mate. In other news, if you can navigate yourself up to this mountain passageway, you'll find yourself at the Beavers Rapids, which on paper sounds great. There's a really nice spot of water, but once you're at the bottom, there is naff all to do. Now the keen-eyed among you will notice that I drove past the Milk Road. There's no reason for that, I'm just a bellend and forgot where it was. So let's pull a Yui and get right back on track. Whilst recording this video, I've come to realise that a lot of the nice songs in Majora's Mask are all just songs from Ocarina of Time. Nostalgia feels comfy, doesn't it? When you're out in the cold sea, it's whiny and harsh. But when you see a familiar face, Romani Ranch stands out as a location that feels detached from the problems of the land. Well, post-Ghost at least. There's a lot of very specific spots here. You could opt for an evening beer by the fire. Plenty of nice glasses to choose from. Mama's even got some dinner on the go. Or perhaps you could have a chat about brews and roosters with the appropriately named grog. I love how this tiny little chicken coop just feels so excluded from the rest of the land. You ever been greyhound racing?
No, never.
Have you not? I got dragged there once. It's proper weird.
It's just full of old boys.
When you bought tickets today, you got a free voucher for pies and beans.
That sounds like my kind of place, I'm not gonna lie. What the f is that?
Well, that's the local viewer. Yeah, I went greyhound racing in Nottingham. Proper weird.
Well, that's your first problem.
As in Shottingham.
You're in Nottingham. Only one good thing came out of Nottingham, and that's Warhammer.
Warhammer came from Nottingham?
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't planned to fill this video with personal anecdotes, but it is ironic I'm taking you back in time with me in a game all about going back to the past. But for my money, the #1 location has got to be on the roof. Around the back of the house there's a ladder that will let you up to spectate the whole ranch. Doesn't get much better than this, does it? It's a shame we can't just stay here. Kick back in the sun, Budweiser in hand. Sorry, I mean Chateau Romani in hand. But time waits for no man. The run up to 30 is proper weird. Feels like I just blinked and a decade rolled by. Was it too many nights out? Was it too many nights in? Was it too many games of League of Legends? Probably. But that leads us to the Gorman track. Looks to me like they've already had a few. To be honest, there's not really a whole lot to write home about here. But we do have rotisserie mystery meat. Do you even care what's in your kebab when you're on the sesh? CBG interjection. Whilst recording this video, I finally located FS after 6 long months. I've been on a wild goose chase looking for this stuff. Spotted it in B&M whilst shopping for cheese. Who would have thought? Let's shoot north and get ourselves into Snowhead. Now in the UK, I'm always a fan of heading northbound. The buzz of the southern cities doesn't excite me anymore. I want to 1, be cold, 2, look at some hills, and 3, buy Guinness for £4.10. I'm going to take the ski holiday approach for this. Let's start at the peak and have a beer at each stop. Snowhead Temple, like most of the temples, isn't the most inspiring of places to be, but it does signify the start. So put your tinnies away and let's slide down to the Goron village. I don't want to freeze my bollocks off, so let's get inside the only establishment here. The town hall doesn't have too much going for it, except for a lovely chandelier. But what it lacks in content is made up for by the folk inside. Some genuine fellas here, and if you just so happen to be a famous hero, they'll sing your praises. I don't know. I could sip a crispy mountain beer while everyone tells me how great I am. Adjacent to the Goron village, we've got the real attraction, the racetrack. On last month's excursion to Germany, we went to the Nürburgring, which conveniently had a van selling Bitburgers. Pure German beer and a spot of racing was a class way to spend an afternoon. I see no reason why this wouldn't be great here. Plenty of good spots to spectate the action. Grab yourself a fishing chair and you're well away. Absolutely stellar location. At the base of the mountain, we find ourselves at the most picturesque gaff I've seen so far. I mean, come on. The clash of winter and spring. You can whack your Kronenbergs in the ice whilst you sit in the sun. It'd give you something to do whilst you wait for your fresh new sword to be sharpened. Admire the waterfall. What a lovely place. And if you're a crazy bastard that loves a spot of cliff diving, you are quids in, mate. Back-to-back bangers to round off the north. But before we continue, I just want to mention Red Stripe's home of Jamaica. They're having a bit of a tough time with the storm at the minute. If you're feeling generous, chuck a few quid their way if you can spare it. I've done it on the Red Cross. Cheers. We've got 3 major locations left before we can crown our champion. Ikana Canyon, Clock Town, and the big fella himself. The first of which is a bit tricky, because getting here is an absolute nightmare. Bomb rats, scary stone blokes, and a 40-foot cliff. Transport links were clearly not prioritised. It's nearly as bad as the M42. Our first spot is the graveyard. In the daytime, we can pour one out for all of our homies that didn't make it. But at night, the dead fellas are having a blast. If you're a cadaver, this might be your best bet. It is a bit of a rowdy park sesh though. Make sure you bring your JBL and White Lightning. But if you like getting Larry on the grass, this is for you. They might be undead, but fair play to the lads. They're having a grand old time, and they keep it going to the early hours. Maybe we'll come here for afters. Once you've made it to the canyon itself, we're actually met with a pleasant spot of water. Everyone knows where there's water, there's the possibility for a beer. But there's one problem. The local nitty dashing about really does ruin the vibe. If you can manage to scale the cliff, you'll be met with the Music Box House. And there, you'll meet one of the soundest blokes going. Happy to chew your ear off about the lore of the locals, and lay your eyes on those speakers. I'm a big audio snob. My dad always had massive stereos. I can completely understand the desire to have a ceiling height sound system. Now there's 2 types of people in this world. Those who will see the sunlight shining through the windows of Ikana Castle, and it will remind them of a warm summer morning, maybe with the birds chirping. And then there are those whose sight of the morning sun will remind them of the incredible hangover they're about to face. And on that theme, the Stone Tower Temple is just quintessential headache. You know when you've had one too many and the room starts spinning? Well, I can do one better. And it's a shame because the temple itself is actually quite atmospheric. You know, minus the 1,000-foot drop. But it does have a party piece though, and it's the boss room. This one's for the pondering Pilsner. No noise, no people, no problems. We love a bit of sand, and we love to get away from it all sometimes. I really wish I could go somewhere like this. Somewhere where no one else can truly go. Completely alone. Quick reminder to please subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and potentially join the Discord. Cheers. We finally made it back to Clocktown. It's a very bizarre place to be, and it changes over the course of the 3 days. Starting with the south, this is where the main carnival is held. If not for the impending doom, this might have been the top spot, but we've got to accept reality. There aren't any stalls, there's no burger van, and the performance have buggered off to safety. So it's just us, and a bit of scaffolding. That leaves us with the laundry pool as our main hope. Now there's 2 ways to look at it. In a perfect world, you could sit here and share a glass of wine with a mate. But in all reality, you'll probably look like a complete nitbag getting tipsy on a park bench. South Clocktown is naff. However, stepping east brings us to the entertainment district. I can't decide if it's a fun little area for activities, or if it's more like the Ayia Napa Strip. Blow up the targets and get a free fishbowl cocktail for your mates. Regardless if you're on a stag do, or just milling about, there is a game for everyone. You could have a piss up and spend all day here. But okay, I hear you. It's finally time for the obvious choice. The Latte Bar is the no-brainer spot for a beer. But is it really? I'm not convinced it is. Seems a bit of a lonely place to be. Just look at the seating arrangement. Doesn't give me a social vibe. Sip your Armani and stare vacantly forwards. This is the place to drink your sorrows. Which granted, everyone needs a place to do that. The clientele isn't exactly the cheeriest bunch of folk. Bro needs to go to Milk Anonymous. But I do appreciate that the barman has the drinks on draft. This is a man who knows his trade. Nothing worse than when you go to a bar and they've got your favourite beer, but it's only in a bottle. Another docked point is that you even need a membership to get in here. Needing a subscription to the boozer is fundamentally wrong in my view. Perhaps a controversial stance, I'm giving the Latte Bar the thumbs down. Once you've finished there though, you can retire to the inn. City Centre Hotel next to the bar is a business masterstroke. Looks like we've got a bit of a dorm style room at the back going on for some hostel vibes. It's always been one of my biggest regrets that I never got to go backpacking in Europe. I always wanted to go interrailing through Sweden and the northern places. I bet some of you guys have some great travelling stories. Please lay them out in the comments. For the least in the east, the mayor's office is probably not our best bet considering what's going on in there. But his missus does have a comfy looking leather sofa. My granddad lived and died in his green leather lazy boy chair, sipping whiskey with a cigar on the go. What a bloke. North Clocktown is where the least is going on. You've got the slide, which could be fun. Me and the missus climbed a children's play area at night after a couple of wines before we went to see a movie. It was a very liberating experience. Moving on, we've got the Fairy Fountain, which given its city location really reminds me of a Thai massage parlour. You know those ones where it's got misted glass and you're fairly certain it's legit, but also slightly concerned that it's not so legit. And lastly, the Deku Scrub Assault course. Fairly useless to me, as I'm not currently a Deku Scrub. So it all comes down to West Clocktown, sort of the retail district. Beer and bank cards is a dangerous combo, especially considering the opening hours. The trading post is open around the clock. You could come out of the boozer and head straight in here and buy some absolute tat. I could end up in big trouble buying 9 hero shields after a few too many stripes. I will say that I do love a dance, and with no established club, looks like we're bussing it down with the Scarecrow till sunrise. I really do hope they have a sobriety rule in the bomb shop. And lastly, the Swordsman's Dojo is interesting. With the Japanese-inspired decor, you must have a few bottles of vintage sake hidden around. Or maybe some imported Asahi. It better not be UK brewed Asahi. That's like drinking a loaf of bread. Horrible stuff. Also, Avadeek's at that absolute unit of a sword. There's only one man that can hold that. So, we've got one location left, but to get the best look at it, we've got to venture to the Astral Observatory, which in its own right is a cracking spot. The music here is so serene. I'd happily lose a few hours over a glass of red and a bit of stargazing. One of the few truly calm locations in the game. Why he has a chicken in a cage, I don't know, but it will sneak into the cool tier right before the end. And speaking of the end, time stands still inside of the moon. The chirping birds, beaming sunshine, and rolling greens can last forever. It reminds me of all the great times I've had in summers past. Were they the best times of my life? Is there really any better moment than having my feet on the grass and a beer in my hands, spending time with my mates? I don't think so. To me, that's what it's all about. Doesn't matter where you come from or what you do. Sometimes the best things in life are as simple as sitting under a tree in the sun. And this is the best spot for a beer in Majora's Mask. Thank you for watching. Picture this. You've sailed the Great Sea, you've defeated Ganon, and you've saved Hyrule once more. I think it's high time you kick your feet back and you crack open a cold one. But now you're faced with a pressing question. Where? This world's got everything. Cliffs, boats, volcanoes, islands, post office. How on earth are you meant to pick one spot? Well, that's where me and the boys come in. We're going to sail through every single island in the game, and then we're going to whack them on a tier list. We'll be scoring them on metrics such as the scenes, the locals, the access, and what drinks they might have to offer. And whilst we're sailing, we'll tell you our best stories.
The last time I had a blue moon, I got into a fight in a Belgian bar.
Another consideration is drinking buddies. Who's going to be the best to sink a few pints with? So don't pack up the sail just yet. Please join us on our adventure to answer the age-old question, where is the best spot for a beer in the Wind Waker? Alright then, on the way to our first island, what are you guys drinking? Because I got myself a Hylian brew. Today helping me record, I've got James and I've got Lorenzo. So from Northern England to South America, we've got a variety of opinions. And first is Horseshoe Island, which isn't a great start. Do you reckon these are the locals?
I know one thing, he needs to work on his tan.
I mean, we're not off to a great start.
No, we're not.
Can you really drink here?
You've got the ops outside.
Yeah, let's leave Op Block. First of many, but it's not impressed me. Outset Island, however, is where we really get going. If you fancy a peaceful island beer, look no further. Bury your bottles in the sand and kick back for hours. Life's good.
Is Link a child or is he just a short king?
I think he's 12. That actually looks like Lorenzo.
It actually does.
Real.
Would you call this a beer
Whoa.
on the rocks?
Hear me out on this. You're with your boys. You have like a 6-pack of beer each. You're sat there looking out on the
Each?
sea. Yeah. Just sat there like shooting the couple of ciggies in hand, couple of like or like cheeky little lip pillows.
Problem is, that's your nan's house.
Oh well, this is the problem: is the fact that your nan will you for drinking.
Is up here better than over there?
Yeah, I would say so, because you've got like the nice little shade. You can have a chill out by the tree. There's no locals here doing your head in.
Uh-oh. Oh. Oh,
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
say.
Hold on. Could be
What the
the
fuck?
fairy beer.
Yeah, but there's
This
no
is-
bar near.
No, Lorenzo's actually right. You think I'm going all the way back down? Where are you gonna have a...
In the fountain.
You gotta deal with the
You've
fat
got
locals with spears.
You've got the bouncers outside.
Get your sunnies on. This is where you want to be.
Oh, I've just spilt lager down my shirt. Now you might be thinking, what about a ship beer? Now, hear me out on this. The problem is the fact that when you have a beer on board a ship, the effects of alcohol are pretty much double.
There's also piss all to do out here. You could talk to your boat.
Man, imagine that being 6 beers deep and your boat starts talking to you. I think that would make me vomit immediately.
Nice.
Hear me out though. Fucking cheeky little beach beer.
Beach beer with the crabs? What about dungeon beer?
Well, what? Yeah, mystical ruins.
What is
beer.
this obsession with drinking beer inside dark and damp places?
We're British.
Yeah.
True.
Catacombs beer?
Mate, more dark and damp places for beer,
I
please.
could go for a catacombs beer.
Beer with the dead boys?
What do you reckon the hinge options are like round here? You matched with.
You
Evil
match with
bouncer.
orange slime. Mate, this is like that horrible slippy moss. That's interesting.
What?
Not sure I'm fancying a puzzle 12 beers deep. All of the reefs are going to the bottom tier. You are an unwelcome visitor at any of these locations. Do not visit. Mate, it's just a chill guy. After this, I hit a bunch of nothing islands. Just some rocks where the birds are trying to get a bit of Larry, getting blown up by pirates. And there's generally a bit of greenery with a tree or two and a hole. I was starting to lose faith, but then I remembered something really important. I had to restock on beers, so I thought why not see my boy Beetle. Turns out he does Red Stripe, who would have thought? And Red Stripe, I'm here for the sponsor when you're ready. Oh, no. Forest Haven's pretty tricky to get into, but when you do, you can't tell me you're not cracking one open with the big tree. The Deku tree is like one of those old heads at the pub that's got like 50 million stories to tell you. Equally a bit of a nitty, but still wise. And then I got the ultimate surprise. Nah, they've got the on-site brewery.
Jump in the brewery. What do you think they're brewing?
Like Carling Tops. I'm really getting a lot of mileage off of slowing down these tracks. Regardless, this is a good spot. Get your sunnies on, man. Best British weather. What do you feel about a snowy beer?
Well, I think for like you and me, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, this is local territory.
But for Rened, maybe not.
Yeah, but I like the cold. Yo.
Do you?
This would be like a pretty nice place for me to have a beer, I think.
This is a Lorenzo beer. This one's nice, but don't forget your North Face. However, it suffers from the same problem that a lot of them do. I'm not trying to navigate this dungeon. Health and safety will be all over this. So I've got a dock points, but it's a pleasant location.
What are you sexually attracted to that you won't tell us?
Don't get me wrong, I don't mind a bit of hairy every now and again, but fucking giant lizard. Holy.
A few more islands come and go with nothing really to note. Maybe you could do like a nice fairy bar crawl. There's plenty more left to come though, some real big hitters. And if you like what you see, please subscribe because there's plenty more on the way. Sometimes you get to these holy places. I wouldn't dare have a drink in here. It's the equivalent of lighting up a blunt in the church pews. Gotta treat these places with respect. Respect was not found here, however. Some of these islands are just straight up death traps. But peace was finally in sight. Time for an island that could take the top step. Is it really raining?
You need to record this when it's not raining.
Real.
Okay,
Wait.
It's clear enough.
Wait.
Okay, now it's a little bit clean. Mate, the fact that the
Okay.
clouds actually move is actually insane. But like, how don't they do this like in like games made now? I don't get it. Yeah, but also the fact that the rain cloud was there, and then the rain cloud is gone, so the rain stops. Like, hello.
This is the final boss of relaxation. Link's got his towel on his chair, and he's got his margarita in hand. It's ready for him before he even gets there. Top tier management. And I love getting in the tub. And what island stay isn't a complete retreat without raiding your very own underfloor dungeon? Every first class resort has a room where you can plunder your own goods. And then, just take it all in. I want to be with this guy. Them birds look pretty Larry. Oh, this could be good. It wasn't. I have this feeling that Great Fish Isle is like one of those spots that all the old guys talk about that they went to back in the day. You know your granddad sunk a few brews there. There's a surprising amount of stag do event islands. Come up the ladder and speak to the Cannon Man. Lad's on tour on the Great Sea and then you get this guy. Charges you like a tenner to blow up some barrels. You'll see them offering this on the coast of Benidorm before you know it.
Imagine if we could load James into the cannon and blast him out. What sound do you think he'd make as he goes blasting out of the cannon?
He'd be flying through the air like, Cannon Gaming.
I'm cannoning it.
Right, I've got to lock in for this last one. It's got to be 45, right?
Good luck.
Let's go. Let's go. Woo!
Wait, hold on. Do the trees have faces? Huh?
Holy shit. Come on, it's got to be this guy.
Already I'm hooked.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They've even got James.
That guy is James. This guy.
This guy.
I was talking about the other guy, but actually... Yeah, it actually is just James.
Let me show you what's
No,
great.
wait, is this the bar?
No, this is the bomb shop.
Okay, alright. Mate, you've got beer and the bomb shop.
Beer and
Real.
bombs, holy f***. Doesn't that look like a trustworthy man? This town's got it all, man. Imagine a crispy cold Corona on the beach. Waddle into the town, do a bit of auctioneering, catch up with the locals. It's perfect. Right, now are you ready for the actual bar?
Yes. Okay. This is a back alley bar, mate. This guy's like staying up late making brew for the boys. Look at the way that the glass glistens. You know that's the real deal. Can't help but notice his laboratory behind him.
Oh, this is the island full of people. We gotta find the best person to have a beer with.
So far, I'm really liking the very first guy that looked like James. But maybe that's because he looks like James.
Real. What about the local Wicked Hot Slash?
I don't know if that's either wicked nor hot.
Real.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it, but I feel like he's hiding something. Why is he wearing like a jacket when it's like sunny?
I like this spot a lot.
This is a pretty good spot. This is like the deep, like when you're having those deep conversations with the boys.
Toes in the water type. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
What's she saying? Oh. Wait, this guy dresses like you do.
Yeah, I definitely wear belt and overalls. Yep,
I
this is
like that
James.
the belt was the concerning part. You know, when I was a kid, I thought this was like a boring spot, but now, like...
Now it's clean.
Now I'm an avid coffee drinker, I'm like, holy... Upon reflection, I think you need to be considerate here. This is a family island. Look at all the kids. You've got to be a successful role model. Don't get too Larry on the streets. This is a nice town. Take yourself down to the coast when it's nice and quiet, and sink a little brew. Because a place like this is just about as peaceful as it gets. Dragon Roost Island, on the other hand, is a bit different. It's got that kind of crazy scenery, you know? And I imagine if you know this game, you probably expect me to sing its praises. But I've got some problems. First of all, everyone is too serious here. Have a look around this island, you will not find a single smile. I don't need people to be grinning at me, but come on. I would, however, grab a drink with this guy. He's got his shirt off at work, that's pretty rogue. I tried to chat to this guy and he just flew off. Rude. But what it lacks in people, it makes up for in scenes. Just don't go too far off the beaten path and end up in the dungeon. This ain't it. If you're familiar with Wind Waker, please let me know if there's any good spots in the dungeons, because everything seems a little bit too dangerous for my liking. And I know that kind of goes hand in hand with being a dungeon, but maybe I've missed something obvious. Overall, the island itself's really nice, but it's just missing that vibe, you know? Mother and Child Owls is a low-key banger. If you can get past the struggle of finding the front door, you'll be in for a chill time. No one to disturb you, and a nice little glow. Here's where they stand on the list. Nothing quite matches Drop Anchor, but a few of them are pretty good. Now if you head up the ladder on Tingle Isle, you'll find some chaps who look like they're on a stag do, but they've been forced into labour camp. Still wearing their outfit from the night before. You hate to see it. And that landed at the bottom for me. I'd love to know how this guy gets to these places, but I think it's decided. This guy has to have the best stories, and he's the best drinking buddy on the game. I would have loved to have given Forsaken Fortress a bit of a higher score. I thought I could go up to Ganon's quarters, but it's been blocked off once you defeat him. Would have been the perfect little nest to set up some speakers. The best I could manage was flying over to this little mast, but then I spotted something very, very important. What about Hyrule? This is no place to have a beer. I almost forgot why I was making this video. The soundtrack and the atmosphere made me forget all of that. I don't know quite what happened, but when I got here, my mood just completely changed. Maybe I was sobering up, or maybe this place sobered me up. Being in Hyrule in this game just feels divine. I wouldn't dream of smashing a red stripe. I don't want to talk about this topic whilst I'm here. This place has got history. I can't make a mockery in such an important place. I pulled the Master Sword here. Maybe let this be a lesson. There are some places that are just out of bounds. Inside Hyrule Castle is one of those places. But outside the castle, I love the bright colours, I love the peaceful sound of the portal. Maybe, just maybe, after you finished your quest, you could sit outside of here and have a very well-deserved drink. That too dramatic? After that long adventure, I came to an unforeseen conclusion. Maybe the best place to have a beer is nowhere, and maybe you should just have a soup with your nan. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that's probably not the resolution you looked for, but it's the one that came to me. I'll catch you next time. Life as a local in Hyrule really is swings and roundabouts. You've got some of the most magical scenery you could ever ask for, but you're always at the mercy of some big angry ginger bloke. You can enjoy the peaceful country farming life, but your daughter might get pinched by a goblin on a pig. Stressful, ain't it? But you know what isn't stressful? Sitting down with a nice cold beer at your favourite spot. This version of Hyrule has so many incredible spots to choose from. Bustling town centre, cliffside waterfall, and even some hidden bars. How could you pick just one spot? Well, that's where I'm going to help. Today, we're going to take a trip down memory lane, exploring the light and dark to finally answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Twilight Princess? Joining me today, I've got James and Lorenzo. They've never played this game before, so they've got a fresh perspective.
Wait. He's just fucking transformed into a wolf.
Can you do the wolf noise for me? Lorenzo, give us a wolf. Starting at Auden Village is a bit too obvious. Let's spice it up by beginning our quest slightly north. I want to kick things off by starting this adventure at my favourite area of the game. I used to spend so much time here. I'd be willing to bet that I've spent more time here in the fishing hole than in the rest of the entire overworld. This place is absolute class. Fishing for me over the years has evolved. When I was a kid and I went with my granddad, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't keen on the waiting. The thrill of catching a fish was great, but sitting still as a child is not. But as I got older, the best part of fishing was the waiting. Like the fishing was just an excuse to sit by the lakeside with your boys and sip a couple beers. This is the first place that came to mind when brainstorming for this quest. I reckon the vibe would be immaculate whilst out on the water. Float a crate of your choice beer in the net and appreciate the break from the action outside. There's a lot going on in Hyrule, and here you can escape the noise. This has to be a contender for the relaxing beer category. I asked the boys if they had any fishing experience. James, did your dad ever take you fishing?
No, my dad never fished.
You ever been crabbing? I've never been crabbing.
I went crabbing in Plymouth once while I was pissed.
It's like James' sentence generator. I went crabbing whilst I was in Plymouth and I was pissed.
Yeah, so we bought these cheap old like crabbing lines.
Did you catch and crab?
I caught 2 crabs.
Were they not edible?
Between you and me, I wouldn't trust a crab that I've pulled out of a harbour.
I wouldn't trust a Plymouth crab on a good day.
Yes, the boys have been fishing. Where? Now you see that cave there?
What, this ominous one? Or this ominous one?
That's what your fucking mum's vag looks like, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Mate, you know it stinks, bro.
Have you ever had a situation where it stinks though? Because I actually haven't.
Have you not?
No, never.
No.
I have, but only in the form of a committed relationship where I didn't want to say it. I just got on with the job, you know.
Really?
Was it the fat one?
That doesn't narrow it down, James. Our first entry into the tier list is a banger. It's going in unreal. No messing around here. To get to our next location just downstream, you'll have to rent a kayak. The journey down there is a bit ridiculous, and once you get down there, you'll be met by Hyrule's version of Benidorm. See, you might look back and think of Lake Hylia as a classy place. Everyone knows that a bridge is posh. Even posher than that, though, is a forest lakebed temple. But as you look over the horizon, you'll notice something jumping out. This is Hyrule's stag do destination number 1. Think about it. We've got the Lucky Man. His business is to shoot you out of a cannon up into the sky, at which point you'll land in a house and meet his pal, who will then instruct you to hurtle yourself off of a large cliff attached to a chicken. If this ain't lad's holiday, I don't know what is. Not that any of this is a problem, mind you, and if you want to get away from that nonsense, you can always perch up here with a beer and take in the view. One thing though, I would be careful of the heights, and make sure you've packed your Speedos when you want to fling yourself into the drink. Yeah, go on in. This is actually a shortcut to Shap. Instead of taking the M6, you take this instead.
Mate, it's like Shadow of Colossus.
It's the shadow of the M6. Welcome to the Bagman Power Hour. I've had 16 beers and I'm pissed. I've just come back home from the pub and I thought it'd be a good time to do a little voiceover, obviously. We're up here with the Bird Boys, but it's not all that. It's a bit dangerous, and there's a dragon flying about, so... But if you go into the shop, they do have Red Potion, which is one word away from being Red Stripe. This place is a bit confusing, its only inhabitants is these chicken fellas. So who's this built for? Who built it? Who lives here? Whose gaff is this? You know? Is this all for the chicken blokes? I don't get it. Back to you in the studio. The Gerudo Desert is a bit too hot for my British pasty skin, so it's a tough sell for me. I don't even think the crispiest, coolest Peretti in the world is going to cool us down. One positive is that you can politely procure a hog and take it for a joyride. Would you get done for drink riding?
You've ridden a few hogs in your time, haven't you, Kebabman?
Link?
I have. If you fancy scaling to the top of the Arbiter's grounds, you'll find an interesting spot. The Mirror of Twilight can be used as a background for a contemplative beer. Sit and reflect about the journey type of job. You can also do some pop shove-its on your handy spin board. But that's all of our canon-based destinations ticked off the list. I'm gonna give this one a miss. Probs not. Whilst we're here though, let's take a little trip through that mirror, shall we? Honestly, this feels like when SpongeBob gets on the wrong bus and goes to rock bottom. This ain't the place you want to be. The doorman don't look pleasant, does he? I've heard this is what the locals look like in Stoke-on-Trent. But one thing it's got going for it, it does have a very good automated taxi service. This is way better than an Uber. On that note though, let's dip. Anyway. Tell you what, let's take a quick break at the Zora's Domain. I'll have a chat to this local and see what the score is up here. Oh, that's interesting. I'm a big fan of the throne room. Taking a seat and chucking your legs in the lake. That'd be a fine spot. I'd recommend something easygoing. Maybe a Sol. Or my guilty pleasure, a Coors Light. I can get down with a watery beer in a water location. If you take a little wander downstream, you'll get more of a grand atmosphere. There's not many things better than the sound of natural running water. It's so calm up here, nothing could ever frustrate you. CBA. Zora's Domain takes its obvious spot in the penultimate tier. A secret passageway takes us to our next location. If you equip yourself with a handy bomb and blow up this handy rock, you'll be met with an incredible view of Hyrule Castle. Oh, hold on, let me... There we go. Now that's a lovely view of Hyrule Castle. You taking the piss? Look how many arrows he's got sticking out his head, man. I've nearly spent a full day-night cycle shooting this twat. But you know what? Looks a bit ominous now in the dark. Let's take a careful walk over to Hyrule Castle and Castletown. The weather is a bit foreboding. The locations really take a big difference depending on what time of day that you visit. Castletown is silent when it's nighttime. Only your footsteps for company. But it leads us to one of my favourite spots, overlooking the courtyard of Hyrule Castle with your pal. A Deep Thoughts introspective balcony beer is one that really can't be beaten. This goes in the top tier. Unreal. The permanent rain that surrounds the castle might put a bit of a dampener on your drinking mood. But whilst you're here, that might be for good reason. The castle grounds continuously feel like somewhere that you just shouldn't be. But they do have these barrels. And a big box of scampi fries, so it's not all bad. The bouncer can be a bit unruly, so make sure you're in the dress code. Inside the castle is no better. Way too much chandelier going on for my liking. And the decor is a bit dated. Maybe on top of that, the overwhelming sense of doom might get to you after a while. I think the best thing to do is politely leave. This one's going in Niue. To make sure I didn't miss out on any great spots, I had the community Discord help me for a few locations. The Cougar Hunter suggests Thelma's Bar. Let's go check it out. Here's the thing with Thelma's Bar. It's a bar. A bar is always good. Fresh meats behind the counter, a few folks to chat to, and a cat. Love cats. Oh, it's James.
What?
It looks like small James.
Yes, the boys. I'm trying to read. Uwah.
Boys are back in town.
Next we've got Linky's idea, who suggests Yetta's sitting room.
So what is this imp thing?
She's from the Twilight Realm and is trying to get revenge on some guy and uses you to get revenge on that guy. And then at some point she's like, maybe we should just like save the world instead.
He looks a bit like James's dad.
This spot comes courtesy of two very friendly Yetis. And off the bat, I'm a huge fan. Summer's ending soon, and it reminds me of when you go to the pub and they've got the little fire on. Pint and some food with your mates, good vibes. Gets the Kabagman seal of approval. And of course it goes in Gornen. Up next is Huber Lambic's idea to go to the hot springs. Good shout. I'm inclined to agree. Not much going on in Kakariko Village. The springs are the talk of the town. And hey, if it's good enough for the chicken, it's good enough for me. But the real springs are the ones you'll find at Death Mountain.
They actually managed to get some footage of James as a toddler.
Kabagman, I'm smoking me pipe. Kabagman, do you want to do some snush? Do you reckon it'd be a good idea to have a beer in a bomb shop?
That guy looked like such a gorm. Mouth breather alert.
Ah!
Oh shit, it's a laboratory.
This is where they make xanthan gum. Nicest 3 million house in Hackney. After a mild detour, I finally found my way there. And let me tell you, this is the spot. You've got Gorons and even a few Zora knocking about. Multiculturalism at its finest. And hey, they even serve milk. Poolside bar and hot water. Perfect. That was close.
Okay.
I nearly forgot about the hidden village, but I'm glad I didn't, because they've got cats. An abandoned village just filled by one old lady and a couple felines. A lovely place.
This is the saddest bar I've ever seen.
Look, I can pick up the cat.
Okay, that's actually kind of sick. Okay, the fact that you can pick up cats is sick.
Last on the list is Holy Junkie's idea to sit on the fence at the goat farm. And I did wonder, how am I going to get up there? But then I remembered I could just jump. I'm sure this is exactly what you had in mind. Auden Village is a humble place, and I think it's best to visit here in the evening. The nice sunset glow does it best. Not somewhere I'd want to get too leery. You know, let's not drink 20 beers. Maybe just a nice 1 or 2. Out on the river, overlooking the windmill. Running water and the sound of nature, that's nice. Cast out a line for some fun, and then go home and eat some pumpkin pie. A place to unwind, not unleash. Sometimes, there's no place like home. Not to sob-story you too much, but recently I've been having a bit of a tough time. My kitchen ceiling fell through, and then I got made redundant. So I did what any logical person would do in the moment. I went to the pub and had a star of ramen. It was nice, but I wanted something more peaceful. I wanted my own sacred grove, somewhere only I know that I can escape. And for that personal reason for me right now, this is my best spot for a beer in Twilight Princess. Being a resident of Station Square must be tough. Evil mastermind blowing up your gaff, god of destruction destroying the city, some blue head running down the side of your apartment building. It's a lot. After all that stress, you could probably do with a nice cold beer. Because despite the seemingly constant threats, there's a plethora of different vibes to choose from. Are you a hotel pool man? A theme park enjoyer? Or are you the adventurous type? Alright, grab your drink of choice and let's dive in to answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Sonic Adventure? Alright, before that, let's take a look at our lineup of drinking buddies. Sonic's a fair choice, but he's defo taken off before he has to buy the next round. Tails is 8, so that's no good. Knuckles is too straight edge. You know he's never touched a drop in his life and probably bangs on about it too. Gamma could be a good choice, seems like a level-headed chap, though he'd probably always win at Uno. Amy? No. Big? No. Anyway, that's enough dawdling. Let's get into it. Our first location is... Let me put you in the shoes of a normal bloke who just fancies sipping some warm beer from a plastic cup. A classic theme park experience. First you've got to dodge the armed monkeys, then you've got to take out one of the several drivers, then hurl yourself through space. All of that just gets you to the main entrance. No amount of beers will get me on this roller coaster, and I'm going to need even more than no amount to get on that waltzer. Now purely because this has a big stage, there's the argument that you could have a beer, just on the grounds that beer and fishing is an elite combo. But ultimately, Twinkle Park is not the place to be, and will be marking the first spot at the bottom of the tier list. What about a sewer beer?
You need help.
Time for a proper stage. Let's slide over to Emerald Coast.
Why does he walk like that?
Would you prefer that he walks like this? If you poke around enough and take a little dip through here, Big's got himself a private fishing hole with room for one. A nice secluded spot. Up on the cliffs and by the lighthouse are picturesque, but the 10-foot jumps in between the platforms is perhaps off-putting. Another great shout is by the coconut tree by the loop. Got yourself a nice little deck chair or two? Take a look at this bridge. Normal, right? If you come back as Gamma, it's a different story. Table, parasol, and some excellent seating. Just a stone's throw away from the bars at the hotel too. Speaking of the hotel, you don't even have to go far to find a great spot. The problem with the end of the level spots is that it's such a pilgrimage back to the boozer, so make sure you pick your drinking spot wisely. It's hard to argue against this stage, it's going in one of the top tiers. Alright, you're probably all wondering where the Chao Gardens go. That's a valid question, especially when you consider just how perfect they are. Peaceful, secluded, secure. There's even a black market, serving the finest. But there's one problem. You've got your kids with you. I slipped and pressed the wrong button and I absolutely clobbered him. Time to put the bottle down and be a responsible man. And as much as it pains me to say it, because they really are genuinely lovely places, I'm gonna have to put them towards the bottom. Rank them in Corona 0. Now come on. A cold mountain beer is up there, especially when paired with a spot of snowboarding. Adds a hint of danger. This is a well-documented event in real life. There are plenty of skiing festivals. I see no problem in translating this over to Sonic. Ride down the mountain and crack a can every now and then. Just wonderful. However, in the big stage, this is not where you want to drink a beer. Listen to this soundtrack. Sounds like it's an Ocarina of Time dungeon theme. I'm gonna have to knock it down a few points for that. If you're enjoying the video, please subscribe. Plenty more like this on the way. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. Alright, let's do the opposite of that madness, and let's do a little relaxing on the forest. Set yourself down up here, take in the sights. You're so detached from the world below. Hope you brought your binoculars. You know that vibe at the end of a festival, or any kind of big event? You're soaking up the day that you just had, having that nice wind down beer? This is it. But there's just one problem, the height. I don't know about you, but I'm 110% stacking it off the top of here and landing arse first in the trees after maybe a beer and a half? Even if I didn't, that's one hell of a ladder to be drunkenly navigating. Even with that in mind, you just can't deny how great the view is, and for that, it's going in my top tier. Listen mate, you already know the Master Emerald is a legendary spot for a beer. It's sacred, but you wouldn't feel like you're doing something wrong. It's like the Emerald would want you to have a drink. The sunset is the best time to visit, catching and enjoying the last little bit of daylight whilst you're illuminated by the Emerald. Do you reckon you could harness its power to keep a beer carbonated? It's strange, there's no words to say, but we all know it's a great spot. Let's run through a few quick ones. A train beer is usually always great as long as you can get a seat, and the train system here always has a spare one for you, so it works for me. National Rail could never. Big seems to have an abundance of spots that really suit him. Down this ladder there's a real nice spot you can cast out your rod. Could float your beers in the water to keep them cool. Defo catching a sailfish down here. If you disagree with my list, by the way, please feel free to slate me in the comments. I've also linked the template in the description so you can rearrange it and beef me in Discord. Now it's a bit of a palaver getting there, but the egg carrier is where you want to be. Look at the size of it. Seriously, it just keeps going. This thing's huge. You can't even see the land from all the way out here. Must be docked in nice waters, very clear and blue. You can pitch up anywhere so you'll always get a spot of sun. I really can't get over the scale of it though. This thing just goes on. And on. And then on. But the cherry on the cake, the pool. We got girls by the poolside. We got girls diving off the diving board. We've got girls underwater. We've got the Cocktail Shaker 3000. But if that doesn't suit you, take a posted seat up at the front deck, on the overly mechanical chair. If you hop over to the pool bar, you'll see something strange. These drinks are pre-poured, but there's no one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's leaving their cocktails out and about, man? They're probably like £9 at the bar. Who's got the kind of money to be doing that? How about a beer in the past? I feel like the air is more crisp here, and you know we love a central tower to perch on. The locals don't look too friendly, however, but to make up for that, we do have some barbecue pits. Whack some skewers on there. There is a strange vibe though. The soundtrack omits the vocals, and it just seems off. Like, I'd be a little nervous. I feel like a tourist. I'd opt for a low ABV whilst I'm here. Grab a Carlsberg. The past gets to shine at the shrine. This must be the original Angel Island. Sonic nerds, help me please. Looks a bit more upmarket, doesn't it? Almost too good to be true. Too pristine. All you've got for company is the other Chaos Emeralds. Look how delicious the water looks. I'd rather have a pint of that. Maybe this is why I was on edge. Turns out some things should be left in the past. Good thing I didn't get too pissed. All the music is gone. All that's left is the sound of the flames, and the sight of the once bright green emerald, now turned to black. Let's not end on too serious of a note. This is a video about drinking beer in Sonic. The casino is a strange one. There's no activity at the bar, and you're shaken violently for all of your winnings. Not only that, you're used as the pinball. Can't believe I've got to do this sober. Surprisingly, the bathroom is the best part of the casino. Nice decor and plenty of hot showers. Perfect for the niche of the shower beer community. Finally, we have Speed Highway, which for me is quite divisive. I love the aesthetic of looking over the cityscape at night, but I'm not sure about being half cut whilst I'm on the run from the feds. Even worse than that, there's this awful transition at the end of the stage that brings you from the cover of night into the harsh reality of the morning. You know that feeling when you're out and you now realise you should have been home hours ago? They've even got a grand old clock to remind you. There's some good, there's some bad, so that's going to stick it in the middle. Now we can really answer the age-old question. The best place for a beer in Sonic Adventure, for me, is on Angel Island. It's funny, I really said the least about this, but there's just a feeling. There's just a feeling here that's just right. This is where you would sit after you finish your adventure. Thank you so much for watching. Mate, Sonic Adventure 2 is filled to the brim. There's more destinations than you can shake a stick at. We're off the train, but in with the world tour. With so many locations to visit, there must be some way to evaluate which one's the best, right? Well, when I visit somewhere new, there's one metric that I always keep in mind. How amazing would it be to drink a beer in some of these ridiculous places? From the city to space, we've got quite the quest on our hands, because despite all of the options, this was a hard video to make. I had to get a bit outside of the box for this one. Please enjoy watching my most difficult journey so far, as I once again answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Sonic Adventure 2? City Escape's up first on the chopping block, and it's got a few hits and a few misses. There's more danger than you'd anticipate here. The bottomless chasms along the set of stairs are quite unappealing, especially after a couple of Coronas. Don't want to be too wobbly around here. I originally thought that the tram had to be a contender. After all, what's the point of public transport if not to be drunk on? But then I clocked the launch pads right in front of it. Health and safety nightmare, and a real problem for chunder potential. I don't want to be hurtled down the streets at those speeds, thank you. An interesting spot to take note of is the famous San Francisco flying cars. Something I do like though is the amount of recycling going on. Next to every bench we've got a conveniently placed bin to chuck your beer once you're done. And then, that's when I saw a relic from the past. 99 cents for a burger, are you mad? That's like 70 pence in England money. Take me back to 2002 for a cheap beer and a cheap burger, please. Honestly, I paid £6.60 for an Estrella the other day. What's going on? I had to take out a mortgage at the bar. One massive plus of City Escape is the sun. Are there truly many things better than a cold beer in the beating sunshine? And because of that, the best spot in City Escape has got to be the park. I'd advise diving under the shade of one of the trees. Everybody loves the 2 beers and to go to sleep combo. Just don't end up getting trapped on the boost pads, yeah? Tree in the park is going to kick us off with a cool. You've got something in your hand and I have to guess what it is.
Yeah.
Does it begin with R and end in Ed Stripe?
It is in fact a race.
A pint can, no less. Does your city turn into an entirely different place when it gets dark? I live in the Midlands. At night time, things can get a bit more heated. It's the same case here. The feds are out in full force compared to the day, Shadow's got jets on his case, and Tails is blowing shit up left and right. Under the cover of darkness, it's a little bit more scarce to find some spots, and I think that makes sense. Nighttime is when people switch over to spirits. If you're having a beer at this late in the evening, you're really doing it for the love of the game, and I respect you. Maybe to find a great place, you've got to go for a vantage point, like at the peak of the bridge. Or maybe the start of the roads. Hope my Uber doesn't take me down there. You've got the incredible view of the city lights. You can have one of those reflecting the night type beers. But if you're a long time viewer, you'll know my opinion on heights. Let's keep our feet on the ground, shall we? If you do a little 180 at the start of Mission Street, there's a nice quiet bench with a street light. Maybe you can do a little waiting on the bench for a taxi to arrive type of beer. Man, the last time I did that we were drinking Buzzballs. Don't ever get a Buzzball, mate. Tastes like anthrax. But unfortunately that's as good as I can find here. Maybe we should head underground to avoid the coppers. Don't be fooled by the soundtrack. This place is not the destination I was hoping it would be. You would think that the recluse beer enjoyer would like getting away from the city above, but you're not exactly alone here. You've got the bizarre motorized spike robot, and a couple of not so friendly ghosts. I guess we'll be clinking bottles with Omochow at best. There is a certain serenity here though, briskly strolling around the water. I like it on setting 3, nice and high. The mine has a unique atmosphere. Maybe it's the purple fire, or maybe it's the contrast of the prior stages. But I can't help shake the feeling of claustrophobia down here. And for that reason, I can't score it too high. It's gotta be down low. However, the treasure hunting stages could never be bottom tier. I'm ranking with the assumption that you hear the music. So no matter what, we've got our saving grace to stop us from sinking to the bottom. So, I'd love to talk to you about the ups and downs of a jungle beer. I really would. I'd tell you about this secluded floating section that could be nice. Or maybe catching an Amazonian pike on this ledge with Big the Cat. Everyone loves a fishing beer. Sadly for us though, the island is obliterated, which unfortunately crosses off Egg Quarters, Iron Gate and Prison Lane. That's quite a shame to lose 4 stages, so I think we should take the bad with the good and talk about a real contender for the top spot. I don't know about you, but a tropical retreat beer sounds splendid to me. At the Dry Lagoon, I'd be packing a case of FS. In the process of hunting for beer spots, I think this is our holiday destination. We're boxed in by these walls, almost feels like a resort in and of itself. We've even got a pool overlooking the main courtyard, with a hieroglyphic mosaic as the backdrop. How exotic. On my holidays though, I'm more of a wanderer. I like a cheap hotel and to go exploring instead. I haven't got the patience to sit by the pool all day. If you want to go for an explore here, you can hop on the Turtle and you'll be transported to a bit of a history tour. Take yourself a Weihenstephan for this part. You can see the Pharaoh, you can see the ruins in the background, and you can see whatever this might be. It's hard to argue against a location like this. It's all the best parts of a holiday rolled into one, and just when you think it's a solid high tier spot, open your ears to the soundtrack. That's what brings it to the next level, and that's why it's our first stage in a league of its own. Quick interlude. What beers would the Sonic cast drink? Sonic's gotta be like a Bud Light. Nothing too heavy, and it's blue. You know Shadow's into the strangest IPAs you've ever heard of. Knuckles doesn't drink, but he does have a red stripe when he goes abroad. Eggman is obviously a John Smith's old boy. Rouge doesn't drink beer, she loves a Malbec. And so do I. Finally, Amy fancies the Desperados. It's called Pumpkin Hill, but there is a fair few of them. I've got a gripe with verticality. I had the same issue with Noki Bay in Super Mario Sunshine. Stairs are not a beer's best friend, and neither are ride-on rockers. One encounter with a nasty ghost could be your last. I need flat ground, or a bit of water. A train beer is always phenomenal, usually en route to the football, so the vibes are always top tier. But here, we're being flung around in circles. Maybe the train conductors had a few buzzballs. If you take a small stroll across the precarious road, you'll find these cheery fellas. If you had to pitch up anywhere, here's the spot. Even in a bad place, a friendly face will do you the world of good. To be fair though, you could always just watch some telly. Oh, and just quickly, I'm going to be doing beer of the video. To help me through editing, I've got myself a Warsteiner. We love a German beer, never lets us down. This isn't sponsored, I just want to mention how nice this thing is. Metal Harbor and Weapons Bed take us aboard some Navy aircraft carriers. James works in the Navy and recently told me about how he loves Carlsberg, because whilst it's only 3%, that means he gets to have more beers. Got me thinking. I think the ritual of drinking a beer is actually better than being drunk. It's the crack of the can, it's the first sip of a fresh pint. That's the things that really do it for me. I'm with James on this one. What are you doing, big fella?
Wednesday's a rough as fuck day for me, so I usually just go to the shop to get 4 beers.
Back to the matter at hand. The ocean is a no-brainer great location. A sea breeze and cold beer is hard to beat. But if you slow down and take a look around, there are some nice seating positions. Atop one of these pillars is a choice, but perhaps if you whip out your flute and summon a floating island, that could be even better. Perch up on top of here and watch the waves crash. But the problem with being in the middle of the sea is that you are in the middle of the sea. It's not as great as it seems. There's not loads to do around here. Ordering a kebab might be difficult, so for that reason, I'm going to stick it in the middle. This game's a lot more difficult to dissect than I anticipated. It's a bit more fantasy than Adventure 1. The lack of civilization forces you to use your imagination a bit more, and once we reach the desert, that's when it starts to kick up a notch. We're in Egypt, judging by the pyramids, and whilst I've never been there myself, I've had my scouts tell me that Greek beer mythos is commonly served in the bars. This sets us off on the right foot. I feel like the night has a bit more atmosphere. I love the flame torches. Maybe we could have a few, and then go find some street food shawarma. Pyramid Cave has a couple of interesting tidbits. We can say hi to the Gamma bots. I'd appreciate if they could stop getting me down, but it is great to see an old friend. The catch up with an old friend beer is a classic. You've not spoken years, but after a pint, you'll be reminiscing about the good times, and it'll feel like not a single day has passed. One of my friends moved to Australia. When they come home every couple of years, we have a glass of red, and it's like nothing's ever changed. There's also these fantastic fire pits. I'm in the UK, so I'd be arrested by the bobbies for not having a fire license. But I can imagine my rural American and European friends have had plenty of beers around a campfire. Please let me know your camping stories in the comments. I'd love to read them. I wouldn't blame you for getting slightly booked out by these weirdly high-definition wall carvings. I'm really a big fan of these ceiling snake lights. Don't think I don't know about interior design. Are these like the Eggman shisha pipes? Death Chamber isn't the most tempting of locations, and in Rouge's stage, we're hunted down by a mechanical hornet. So, we'll slip past those, and all in all, it's an absolute belter. Alright, I can hear you screaming about Child World, so let's talk about it. There are 3 levels to this gaff: normal, hero, and dark. Let's put the kids in the normal Chow Garden so they're safe and out of the way. The Hero Garden is too perfect. Like you've ascended to heaven. I remember once I went to a place called Coombe Abbey, and the riverside looked exactly like it does here. I went there with a girl that was, troubled, shall we say. It was evening, and the trees were very green, shall we say. As I walked along the waterfront, the marble floor next to the water reflected from the golden glow of the sun. It literally felt like I was floating in a paradise, shall we say. That's what the Hero Garden reminds me of. Too much marble and water, and I'm transported back to that memory. Which is a good thing, I think. Being single and young was a strange time. The Dark Garden reminds me of a dingy rock bar. Whack a stage and a little band on the little island. Maybe a bar over here. If you could do that, you've just made yourself a spot for all the goth girls to come to. And who doesn't love that? That's fun for everyone. Now, sometimes a beer is a great partner to an activity. And by far the best partnership is beer and sports. You can pull a Randy Marsh and cheer on your boy from the sidelines.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America!
But you might need a beer after you watch your son get his teeth kicked in. Chow World in its entirety is in a league of its own. Humanity's final frontier is our final destination of the video. Strap yourselves in because we're off to space. We'll work our way up towards the Ark. Let's start with Meteor Herd. Is this Knuckles' best song? I think it might be. The production on this one is too clean. On the Floor is no good. Getting annihilated by an asteroid is a bit of a pain in the arse. Let's work our way up to the central tower. You've got volcanic heat from below to keep you nice and toasty. Bit like a pub outside heater. At least you haven't got to keep pressing that bastard button. But I think we can do one better. For my money, it's got to be at the very top. When you're this high up, does being afraid of heights really matter? Was another 100 meters. Since I started recording this video, I've also conquered my fear of heights after completing a Go Ape course in Sherwood Forest. Here's me crash landing. Back to the video. This is the space spot surely, isn't it? A view of the planet, a crate of imported red stripe. Does it really get better than that? Do I really need to say anything about Mad Space? This is quintessential headache. Drinking here will be like you're hungover before you even take the first sip. Seriously, this might be the worst place for a beer in all of my videos so far. Its only redeeming factor is the soundtrack. Espionage bangers for days. Team Dark is lacking in space. Shadow's doing absolutely no better up top. Since when did we decide that everything has to spin? Egglad is letting his cannon loose in the back rooms. I like the atmosphere in here, but I'm not sure it's a beer location. Maybe some of you reckless folk have had a few beers after sneaking into an abandoned warehouse or something like that. That's what Lost Colony feels like to me. You know, if I was a reprobate. There is only one location I could think of for a beer in Final Rush. And that's on the platform just before the leap of faith. Gonna need some liquid courage to fling yourself off the rail down here. What I will say though, is the viewing platform looks fantastic. You know the one where they look down to the earth at the end of the game? That's the best spot up top, in the safety of the inside, but with the best view of them all. When it's all said and done, I think space is pretty cool. After that adventure, Dry Lagoon stands at the top of the tier list. What? Are you expecting me to say about how Green Hill Zone feels like home and I long for the past? Nah, forget that. None of that rubbish. It's way too bright. It's like someone hoid a flashbang at me. But I have come to a different conclusion. You can travel the world, collect as many rings as you want. You could even blast off into space. But the best location will always be down the pub with your mates. Thanks for watching. You know when you're on holiday, and you've taken that first sip of your beer of choice, and you think, yeah, this is it. It's one of the best feelings, right? Well, I've recently been playing through every single GameCube game, and then I get to Super Mario Sunshine. I thought to myself, damn, I'd love a crispy cold beer on Gelato Beach. And then I thought, oh, this is Mario's holiday. I wonder how many other good places there are. And then I thought, how many bars are there? What do the locals drink? Suddenly this daft question evolved into something that I think needs an answer. Where is the greatest place for a beer in Super Mario Sunshine?
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo!
So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to take a little tour of the island, and I'm going to whack them on a tier list. I'm also going to confer with the boys to make sure my thoughts are valid. But ultimately, the final decision is mine. Let's get looking. A short stroll away from the plaza will find our first spot, right here by the sea. I'm calling this... This is the baseline for nice. It's got great sun, ocean sights, and it's easily accessible. My friend James had a lot of insight about this first location.
I don't know. I'd rate this maybe like a 7. It's got good views, but the thing is, you've got some
chair.
Yeah, you've got some fat local next to you as well, ruining the vibe. The thing is, though, is the fact that if you bring like, even if you bring like a 6-pack, they're like rapidly heating in the fucking sun. So by the time you get to the fucking the 6th beer, then you're just drinking warm beer and it's fucking wank.
Warm beer. This is your run-of-the-mill beer drinking spot. Nothing too flashy, but gets the job done. I am, however, going to need a bit more winning over than that. Sits middle of the road for me. For now, I'm going to whack this in B tier. It's the Watermelon Festival on Shine number 8 of Gelato Beach. I thought this could be a big contender for number 1. It's got a lot of everything you need. So there's like a cabana by the sea, and it's got chairs and umbrellas next to the coral reef.
Does the scale go up to S?
Yeah.
I would say this is an A tier. It's nice, but the thing is, though, is that look out to the ocean again. You got a fucking theme park there, which kind of ruins the whole vibe.
You don't like that? Is that too industrial?
No, I don't. Too industrial, mate. There's not enough. But the fishes are nice. That's why it's an A.
Man, I thought giving this an A was harsh. Especially when the bar next to you is making watermelon smoothies. Drop a few shots in there and you're well away. I'm going to make an assumption that you can hear the soundtrack when you're here, and I think this is one of the best. And I'm going to have to knock it down a few points because there just doesn't look like there's much going on at this bar. You might be waiting a while for your second drink. A big consideration you've got to take into account is getting flipped 50 foot into the air whilst you're getting there. That's just not practical when you're trying to get back to the hotel. But all in all, I'm going to whack it at the top of A tier. Noki Bay is a bit of a tricky one. It might have some of the most beautiful scenery in the game, but it's a bit too vertical to be cracking a few cans. When I look at this, I just see danger. I don't want to be stumbling up here. James, if I gave you like 10 red stripes and said you have to drink them all up here on this thing, what's the percentage chance that you fall in and die?
Like 0. I'm not a fucking moron.
He might not be a moron, but I certainly am. I'm making this video to begin with. But it is a shame because the sound of the waterfall and the vast scenery looks so great. But the problem's all over the stage. No matter where you go, it's just up. This is like the Mount Everest of drinking beers. If there was a bar at the top of this mountain, there would be 10 deaths a day. I don't think the boat's any better either. To be honest with you, this whole area is just somewhere you want to be sober. This is like an activities day out. And I ain't going down with a ship. Unfortunately, it's going in D tier.
What about a beer out of a cannon?
Real.
Mate, Mario's like the fucking worst tourist ever. He's going around bothering the locals, going to places he shouldn't be. Mario's acting like he's fucking British.
What about a nice beer on a
wall?
On a wall beer, if you will.
Well, that's a breakwater, but all this talk's making me want a beer.
No matter how which way you spin it, a beer at a theme park is no good. You're telling me you want to be drunk at these dizzying heights? No shot, mate. Similar to Noki Bay, having a drink here is just a heinous act. There's gonna be kids and families here, man. Get your shit together. Put the bottle down. And look at how fast that thing's going. This was an easy one for us. There was no conferring needed. This is definitely going at the bottom of the barrel. Straight into F tier. One that I forgot about was the Subscribe beer. I think that one's pretty good. The thing about Rico Harbor is that James said this is way too industrial, but I'm currently like 6 beers deep, and I see the potential of this place. Just look at what you can do. Yeah, but you can get pissed and challenge your mates to a beluga race, which seems like animal abuse. Maybe it is, but that's neither here nor there. I hear what he's saying though, this place is a bit grungy, even if you're on the boat. Maybe the diesel fume smell, and the aroma of fish left out way too long in the sun, and the sound of the cranes might get jarring after a while. I'm not convinced the helicopter's a much better idea though. Look, if the missus drags you to Rico Harbor, you've got to make sure you do what you can do. Maybe bring a 4-pack and enjoy yourself. Also, my tier list names are boring, let's reinvent them. Put the bottle down. Bad idea. May as well. Nice boozer. Coming here next year. Beer. James has never played Mario Sunshine before, so all his reactions are genuine.
Oh, fuck off. I already know that. Oh, fucking. This is an S tier.
Sit down. You've got a cold Corona. You can hear the nice soundtrack in the background. Evening sun.
You've got some guy with a red cap and a fucking weird jetpack running around. You've got some fucking gal.
Live band. Sun loungers.
Okay. It is an S. It could have been an S+, but the only reason...
Hold on.
It's... Okay.
There is 2 bars. This looks like a liquory place, but you're telling me I can get like a coconut punch type thing at the bar?
Real.
And then I can fuck off back to my sun lounger and watch the sunset.
My only problem is the fact that the amusement park's in the way.
Okay, I can fix that. Right, so you see the amusement park there? It's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Okay. Okay, no, that's an S. That's an S+.
I've got no reservations putting this right in the spot. This is the place to be. It's gonna take some doing to dethrone this. Fucking hell, I'm pissed.
Hotel beer.
Hotel lobby beer.
It's like a B, I would say. Usually, if you're having a hotel lobby beer, then it's either because you're waiting for someone or you're having a nightcap. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. What about women's toilet beer? You ever had a beer in a bog?
No.
Never.
Have you? No, have you?
I find that hard to believe. I can't say I have.
The best thing about the beer is its portability.
Okay. Now I've finally made it. How do we feel about pool beer?
Pool beer, pretty cool. You got a star in the middle.
So you do.
I'm thinking this is a C, to be honest. I can't handle this for the beers.
Nice local music though.
I personally think a beer at Height's pretty good. Like a B, maybe.
Listen, if there's one place you don't want to have a beer, it's this fucking Chuckster Fuckster level. Pianta Village is where you want to be. Look at this big ass crowd. You can get in the mixer with the boys, do some two-stepping with a red stripe. That's what I like. Then you can retreat to this oversized mat and a nice mushroom with a little bit of shade. World's your oyster. Hop in the hot springs like it's no one's business. Dick around on some swings just for the fun of it. Pianta Village daytime is some goated level. Right now, it's coming down to this, or whatever the last stage was called. I can't remember. Roll the next one. I've got a bit of beef with Bianco Hills. Not because it's bad, almost because it's too nice. This is just a quaint little village. I don't want to get Larry here. This is someone's home. I'd be raging if someone was getting pissed outside my home on the local windmill. Sometimes you gotta know when to rein it in. Up here looking over the land, that's one of these times. Let's just be sensible, yeah? Lily pad's no good. To me, this is somewhere you want to live. I'm not trying to get rowdy here. Let's not disturb the locals too much. And for that, I'm going to put it in May as well. Maybe a local invites you over or something. Something I do think that goes underrated in this game is the problematic beer. You know when shit hits the fan, and all you can do is solidarity, is sit on the roof with your boys, crack a cold one and watch it all unfold. But not this guy. He just cares about his sunnies. He couldn't give a fuck. I know it's literally called Corona Mountain, but you're gonna need more than a lime to fix this. I'm not sure this is where you want to be sipping, to be completely honest. Is what I originally thought anyway. And then I find this hot little spring. Fresh water, boat. It's at the end of the game, may as well sink one for good measure. Having said that, it might be chalked if you're trying to steer this boat. Fuck this thing. Maybe a little pre-match shot so you don't get too nervous when you're fighting Bowser, you know? Just to take the edge off. I don't see no harm in it. And for that reason, I'm not going to put it in the bottom tier, I'm going to whack it in May as well. The hero deserves a beer, you feel me? And that brings us to the end of the video. I'm going to decide which one really takes the cake. I want to say thank you for watching first, if you've somehow made it through all of this. I played through this entire game again for about the 50th time, and if you haven't, make sure you go and do it, yeah? But without further ado, the winner is... Come on, it was always going to be Serena Beach, wasn't it? Mario's fought the world and saved the world too many times. Bro just needs a day off. Little evening in front of the sunset, who can blame the guy really? That, on top of all of the positives I mentioned earlier, this was a no-brainer. This is the best spot for a beer in Super Mario Sunshine. And cheers! Have you ever wanted to travel the world? Discover new lands, meet new people, and most importantly, drink new beers? Yeah, me too. But I'm broke, and traveling can get quite expensive. But don't worry, because for me and you, I've got a solution. We've got a worldwide tour with the boys on Mario Odyssey, with 15 different kingdoms to visit, each one with their own atmosphere, scenic spots, and local brew. We've got ourselves an adventure. We'll rank them as we go, basing it on the one category that really matters. But that's enough of the chit chat. Let's answer the age-old question. Where is the best place for a beer in Super Mario Odyssey? Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to score them based on each kingdom's best spot. That means that a bad kingdom overall could be saved by a legendary spot. We're going in chronological-ish order, so let's start with these first three. I fancy some sun. Let's head to definitely not South America. Upon first glance, there's already signs that this could be a top-tier boozer. Take for example the taxi right outside the town centre. We're responsible here, so after a night of Corralejo, you can get home safely. What are we drinking here? Looks like they've got some cold Coronas in the fridge. Nice. As for drinking spots, we've got the rooftops, a nice secluded afternoon location. Would have been even better if some prick didn't cover the blankets with an enormous cactus. See, Toad gets it. But if you want to go higher, you can take yourself up to the peak of the pyramid and take in the view with a brew. Moving on to a well-known British pastime, drinking at the bus stop. Pristine benches, great views, and even a local to chat to. I'm a big fan. Our last location is the Oasis, which on paper sounds great, but for company you've got forks. And bro over here isn't catching much either. However, any fishing of any kind is always a boost. Honestly, the desert's niced us up, and it's set a pretty good bar for the standard of a good tier boozer. And mate, just listen to the soundtrack. This is a banger. I'm gonna put it in 4. Less can be said about the Crap Kingdom. It's a bit of a shift of tone, isn't it? Grey, gloomy, no atmosphere. Well, there is atmosphere, it's just the wrong atmosphere. It almost feels like we're at the wrong part of the Cap Kingdom. There's buildings over there, and where there's buildings, there's a bar. But we're over here, in the middle of piss-ass nowhere. One thing I do appreciate though, is the railing. Too many of these locations are all too easy to plummet off the side. It might not be fun, but at least we're safe. The locals haven't won us over either. James, how do you feel about these fellas?
Honestly, mate, they look like a bunch of floating knobheads.
There's no real shop, just a pop-up selling room temperature carling. I don't know what that is over there, but it looks better than the fabric over here. The Cap Kingdom is proper naff. I'd rather be in the office. Whoa. Now this is some scenery. Check out the soundtrack too. Somewhere as picturesque as this has to be great, right? But does all of this grandeur come at a cost? The setting is attached to the price of fighting for your survival. The locals here aren't friendly. Just when a herd of chain chomps was enough, there's a T-Rex ready to greet you. Just in case you survive that, the jumps you'd have to make to get to the best spots for a beer are far too dangerous to take a speaker and a 6-pack with you. It's hard to rank a place like this. It's kinda just the wilderness. Breathtaking sights, but that's really about it. It's never gonna be your go-to. You know, I'm not getting a season ticket here. I'm gonna go with Naff Boozer. If you're enjoying the nonsense you see so far, please subscribe. The Forest Kingdom is peaceful. The omission of the soundtrack works nicely to create a calm atmosphere. But if you take a wander through the woods, that's where the real party begins. This might be my favourite bit of music in the game. The rare nature beer makes an appearance. In fact, it makes an appearance all over this kingdom. You've got a plethora of places to drink it. If you don't mind a small 100-foot drop, the Secret Garden is fantastic. Crack off a cold one while the petals fall around you. I'd pack something with an interesting flavour. Maybe a Kronenberg Blanc. The citrus kick would suit well in a place like this. But I do enjoy sunlight, so for my money, the best spot to kick back and relax is up top here. I was pleasantly surprised by this kingdom, and it's taking its rightful place in the 4 tier. The Lake and Beach Kingdom seemed quite like similar places to me, so I quizzed our resident sailor about it. James, are you a lake man or are you an ocean man?
I'm a river man, if I'm honest.
A river man.
Ironically, despite my job, I fucking hate the ocean.
Can you put bodies of water on a tier list for us, please?
I would say ocean at the bottom, lake in the middle, and river at the top.
It's a serene place, like a spa at a hotel retreat. Relaxing music, dip your feet in the pool. But it's not my scene. I need something with a bit of grit. The locals all look like they're in mild distress. And the main tourist attraction is to go look at this dress. This place is a bit too nice. A bit too good, and no real designated spots. Turns out they don't even serve beer. Only Blue Lagoon pitchers. Not a bad replacement, in fairness. All in all, I can't in good faith put this any lower than solid pint. Even though they don't serve pints. The Beach Kingdom. The obvious choice for good reason. Even before we lay our eyes on the best spots, we've got a track that closely resembles The Girl from Ipanema, one of my all-time favourites. That, and the gentle glow from the sun, really set the tone off just right. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better, the shop is on the back of a floating dino, and they've got red stripes. Now where are we going to drink it? Personally, I'd like to escape the riffraff on the beach. I like getting involved with the volleyball, but that's not why we're here. I think a vantage point is what we need to take in the horizon. You could go up to the top of the lighthouse, but it feels a bit touristy. For my money, the best spot is up on the hot springs, swimming with the local gyal, a parasol to hide from the sun, and 3 barrels of the finest. However, if you're feeling adventurous, and don't mind tripping absolute bollocks, there's one more place you could visit. We're back at the Cascade Kingdom, and this is what I was looking for whilst I was here. Away from all of the nonsense, the ability to view the wonders below from the safety of a floating viewing platform. Beach goes to Super Beer, and Cascade moves up to join it. The Cloud Kingdom is an intermission. It's the embodiment of what it feels like to nip out to the smoking area outside of the bar. A little break from the action, and promptly placed in our journey so far. The Lost Kingdom on paper isn't the best place to be, but it's got a certain charm to it that I can get down with. A gentle stroll through the jungle would pair well with a nice Chang or Cobra. I love the colour palette of the kingdom, even the dangerous purple goop looks appealing. But the danger here cannot be denied. There's too much creeping and crawling about for my liking.
Mario's dressed low-key a bit colonial.
He is dressed like a bit of a crusader, isn't he?
Mario's gonna put some stuff in the British Museum.
Can't deny that I'm drawn here for at least one. So for that, we're going in the appropriately named Solid Pint. Right, we need to get on our city gear.
Mario's gonna tell me to run me my fucking pockets.
Hey, it's sick, isn't it? Look at that.
The members of the bar do not know this, but this is the attire you need to wear in Croydon.
It is true. You won't get into the local spoons if you're not dressed in your full tech piece. Mario got the badge in.
Oh mate, there's the f***ing ops.
Is that the ops?
Mate, why is she low-key kind of fine? What do you think her feet smell like?
The doorman of New Donk City didn't appreciate his North Face.
Sorry mate, no tech fleeces allowed in here. Now fuck off.
In a rage, he took out a Lime bike for a joyride.
He doesn't have insurance, no less.
Hey yo, where my Uber taking me? Back to the order at hand. Where is the best spot for a beer in New Cock City?
Hear me out. What about in front of the big Arum sign?
The what sign?
The Arum sign. Arum, look.
Yeah, it says Mario, you thick.
How the fuck can it say Mario? Oh, it's the wrong way around.
I like the Adam signs. Let's go see what beers they've got, actually.
Why is everyone dressed like a 1930s gangster? Nah, now listen here, see?
I'm trying to buy a beer.
I'm trying to buy a beer, see?
I'm not an IPA fan, but I'll have one here.
Mate, put that on. He looks like a health and safety inspector. Mate, Mario's now dressed like a bricky. He's gonna go home and hoover up 5 grams of.
That's going in the video. What about a back alley behind the bins kind of beer? New Donk City is filled to the brim with incredible locations. Let's explore more of the town. You know what? They've got very brutalist architecture. Which put a city in the middle of the ocean, mate. 900 feet in the air. Need bother. Is there a Mexican bar?
Mate, Mexican bar gaming with the Sugar Skull people outside, no less.
Get me in there. Oh,
Holy.
got any Desperados, mate? About a beer with the rooftop viewers.
Kick them off.
Ooh, rooftop bar. It's a bit precarious to get to, though. POV me when I see IPA. Oh, mate. Nah, this is what you want. Rooftop pool.
Holy.
Rooftop pool, are you mad? The pinnacle of a spot. Mario's drinking the water like a pleb. Bussing it down with your snail, mate. And check out the skyline. Christ on a bike.
No, Mario, mate. Wait, Fast and Furious. So we're doing this for family. C B G C C B G C C C C C C C C C B G.
Whilst James serenades us, I'm going to put this at the top tier, obviously. This is a super beer. But if you disagree, join the Discord in the description, and you can tell me why I'm wrong. Before we move on any further, it must be understood that the daytime of New Donk City is only half the battle. Nighttime is where it really gains atmosphere. Imagine diving into one of these neon illuminated bars to escape the rain in the quiet city. Elite. Now I'm a strong believer that sunny/cold is the best weather type. You get to wear your big comfy clothes, and you also get the glorious vitamin D from the sun. The Snow Kingdom is a quaint place. It's only really the freezing wilderness, or the resort, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in potency. Got a little bit of street food, nice and cozy vibes. The races are where it's at though. Got all the homies here, stick some side bets on. A sporting event is always enhanced with a beverage at hand. And that's the peak of the Snow Kingdom. A small gaff with lots of potential. Goes in 4. The Goth Kingdom is a strange one. There's absolutely no to do here, but you can perch yourself atop a dragon's head and have a questionable beer. Another case of a location having an atmosphere, just not the right atmosphere. Don't want to crack a can before a Dark Souls boss battle. Naff boozer, mate. Oh my god, this place winds me up. It's too bright. It's like a flashbang 24/7 round here. And it's hot. It don't feel good hot. It feels like British summertime blistering hot. There's ops everywhere. Bro's chucking hammers at me from across the pond. But just when I'd lost all hope, I did stumble across the food festival. Had to make sure to smash up the IPAs, cruise around the site and grab some bites. Top tier location. If only it wasn't in permanent bright mode. But I've had enough of this place already. Just looking at this place again's doing my head in. Let's give it a solid pint and let's get out of here. In complete contrast, we're off to the moon, and I love the moon. If you're clever enough to stay on the peninsula that the Odyssey lands on, and you don't launch yourself off the side into the void, you'll have a grand time. I mean, was there going to be any other beer? If you could attach a rope and a winch to make sure you don't fly away, having a few bevies and flying about with the boys sounds like a great motive. I love that all of your boys are here, appreciating the horizon. Near perfect. All it needs is a beer. The problems arise when you leave the island. There's too much danger. Obstacle course and flying octopus. The interior of the church is not the vibe. Got the feeling of an afters that's just clearing out. However, I do like the outside, around the back. Sometimes in real life, I like to visit the local church. They do a choir practice, and the light from the moon illuminates the stained glass. I like to sit on a bench in the park next to it. Peaceful to listen to, you know? It's really nice. Reminds me of that. For me, I think the moon is underrated, and it's going in super beer. As we get to the penultimate kingdom, I'd like to remind you that I'll be putting the tier list in the description. Feel free to remix it and rearrange it however you see fit. Now we're on to Bowser's Kingdom. If we really break it down, Bowser is a single dad. He's going to be a beer enthusiast, isn't he? And it does show with his decision making in the construction of the kingdom. I appreciate the classic Japanese decorations, and I appreciate the Asahi in the shop even more. But for me, this place is doing too much, you know? There's fire embers going to be getting in your drink, feels like it's going to be weirdly humid, and the flags are waving around by themselves. I don't know what voodoo magic's going on there, but it's throwing me off. I do like the island with the shop. Be nice to kick back here, seats are comfy, and the parasols are a nice touch. But the rest of the gaff just ain't it for me. The verticality of the place is going to be tough on your quads after a while. I'm here for a beer, not a hill climb. I like the atmosphere, and I like the decor. So for that, it's a solid pint. Ah, home sweet home. Or is it? Does Mario live here? Or does he live in Brooklyn? I can't see any residents here except the castle. You know, it's a bit strange inside the castle. Peach has a stained glass of herself in front of her throne room. It's a little bit vain, isn't it? Regardless, don't let these oddities take away from the brilliance of the Mushroom Kingdom. Because it's got everything. A beach, rolling hills, and the atmosphere is just right. If you're feeling like a John Smith's old boy, you could take a seat in the castle gardens, reminisce on the old times, tell your mates the same story you've already told, and try to not think about being 30 soon. But I'm getting a bit tired. We've been across the world, we've seen everything there is to see, and I think we deserve some time to relax. So for me, under this tree, taking a snooze, having some brews, this is the best spot for a beer in Mario Odyssey. Warning, this video contains extreme amounts of drunken stupidity. Viewer discretion is advised. Have you ever failed a project? I've been making videos. The best spot for a beer in games. Naturally, GTA is a shoo-in for this format, right? So I gathered my squad of fellas and we filmed a great video. Just kidding, it was a complete disaster. Let me show you why. Act 1, getting the beer. Alright boys, the first shot is us walking into the shop and buying a couple of beers. This bit shouldn't take too long. I should not have said this.
You're gonna,
Step 1, evade the police. Step 2, get the brews. Oh, there's a beer shop. Spotted the local Londis.
Ah, it's alright, you got parachute.
Andy, put your rocket launcher away. Alright, okay, we'll get a shot of This is gonna be so long to fucking just get a shot of 4 of us walking into the boozer. Alright, we're all gonna get in Lorenzo's car, and we're gonna drive to a place, and we're not gonna shoot and or kill each other.
I think I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm a terrible fright on a damn airplane.
Why did you get out of the motor? Get in the car, you knobhead. Lorenzo, can you turn the radio off, please?
The radio's doing my scoping.
Right, we're gonna casually pull up. No one's gonna run. We're gonna walk in, and it's gonna be a sick shot of us walking into the thing. Right, Lorenzo, park up real nice.
Shit.
James!
Clown.
Look at this prick in the backseat. I just get out and I'll just see James' fucking fist go flying into the back of Andy's skull. Absolute prick. Right, can we get right? How about I call the Green Marine, we drive in the Green Marine to the shop, and this time James doesn't knock anyone out on the way there. This is gonna be a long night the way it's carrying on. Right, I've got the Green Marine. Right, get in the Green Marine. And they put it down. Get in, you absolute willy steak. That dude's walking up the road. It takes just fucking blew his head off. Oh, help me God. Alright, what about we do 2 cars? 2 of us get in the Golf. Alright.
Alright, shall we actually get some footage?
Alright, there we go. Right, now let's drive in a nice, sophisticated manner.
Alright, that one wasn't me.
Just get us there. Right, stop shooting. Stop shooting each other for 5 minutes. Right, it's been 31 minutes. We haven't got to the front door of the Londis yet. Oh, you did again.
That was an actual accident. Okay, let me get the Kuruma, and then we just go.
I think we just need like a hood random car, you know.
Yeah, I've got one. It's alright. I'll pick you.
I think a distinct lack of stream.
Oh, I've got what he says.
Oh, sorry.
Andy says he's got one, and I see him hop on this like a fucking belly. Right, no, there's 2 bikes. We can get 2 men on 2 bikes.
Oh,
James, get on his bike.
Sorry, yeah, I've got.
What? What?
You fucking wet white man.
Oh, good God, no!
What have you got? No! We were so close. 37 minutes. We have yet to get through the first checkpoint. We are driving away from the boys in the Golf. Fucking hell, Jay. Go pick up Andy. Then we'll evade the police. Then we'll go to the shop. But why are we shooting?
We should actually do it now because it's night time and it's gonna look sick.
True, actually.
Alright, I'll pull up real slow.
Right, boys. As soon as we got the car, all weapons away.
There you go. Good.
Alright, boys. Alright, we did it. Act 2. Finding the spots. We knew where the spots were, it was just getting there. Stop shooting! Okay, what are we doing up here? We having a beer up here? Holy, you might be right.
Right, hear me out on this. What we do is, we parachute in.
Andy, we pre-drinking before we get there.
Just having a swift one with the lads. Liquid courage, that is. Can't wait to dive out of the helicopter now.
Can you guess how this will go wrong? A. James doesn't have a parachute. B. Lorenzo crashes the helicopter. C. Someone starts shooting. Or D. We all miss.
I don't have a parachute! I don't have a parachute!
Hey, yo, what's up?
That was the sickest thing we've
That
ever
was
done.
so fucking perfect. I love it.
These rocks are pure dangerous, these.
Have you never been for a few beers on the rocks with your boys?
I'm on me dinghy, mate.
So you are. It was at this point one of us had the bright idea to have a train beer. Wait, we need a beer on the train. It was me, I'm sorry. You know you're in trouble when James gets his top off. Right, okay, mission. Get on the train, don't dive, drink the beer.
No!
I love how CBG man's just driving, and there's just a topless man in the front seat.
In case it wasn't bad enough, someone had an even brighter idea. Oh no.
You got a helicopter from the event, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, James, I've got a plane, you know. I'm planing it.
He's coming.
I really want to blast you, but I want to watch you try and get on the fucking train.
I think we should maybe get down Lorenzo, because he's definitely going to take us out.
I think that would make it even funnier.
Now I'm coming, Isu.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
You're coming in way too fast.
You are coming in way too fast.
Nah, never. I'm getting in first person.
You need to fly from far away. You're still
Nah,
too
here we
close.
go.
Oh no. Here comes Kamikaze.
You're not even close. What are you doing?
Oh no. He's missed.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm watching, mate.
There's plenty of carriages. You can do it.
Oh, yes, I'm on the train! Finally, we made it aboard the train. Oh, this is mid. Oh no, you just pushed me off the train! After that disaster, we decided the next best thing was the military base. We're in.
Flawless. Brilliant. It's your fault.
The next day, me and Lorenzo decided to take a sophisticated approach.
Almost, yeah.
Up! We finally managed to film one spot.
I really like this location because, like, you can do this.
And another spot. Right, ready? 3, 2. Oh. No!
Nothing a beer can't fix, mate.
True.
I was gonna try and shout the viewers. Instead, I just set myself on fire. You want to POV your James?
Yeah.
Mate, this looks fucking clean.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah, mate.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god. Ah!
You get the beer in front of the yacht, and then you get the beer in the yacht. Nah, it's cooked.
Drink the beer. Right, I think now we need one on top of the crane. That would be bomb.
I'm ready.
Act 3. Changing course. What I've learnt from this whole video is that you can't always guarantee what's going to happen, but you can guarantee that you can take what happens in the right direction. And sometimes, that's the most fun part. Thanks for watching. Why do you play an Elder Scrolls game? For me, I play to explore. I couldn't care less about the main quest. I don't care about the stories. The most fun I have in these games is walking around, finding new places. In real life, I love visiting new cities too. I'm currently trying to visit every city in the UK. Nothing better than sitting down with a cold brew at the best local bar you found. So I thought, why not mix that with the Oblivion remaster? I've never set foot in Cyrodiil, never once played the game. I'm going to take the pilgrimage of beers and walk to every city in the game. I'm going to rank them based on their pubs, vibes, locals, and everything in between. So please join me once more to answer the age-old question. What's the best city to get on the beers in Oblivion? What are you guys drinking? I've got Cyrodiil cider. Alright, first up we got Chorrol. We're going to start our way at the northwest and we're going to work our way around. I'm glad that this one's first. This is a nice little introduction. And I appreciate that they've got the boozer front and centre. I was excited to see my first Tavern of Oblivion. Wonder what beer they've got on tap. The Oak and Crozier. I was going to say there's no atmosphere, but it is 9 o'clock in the morning.
Nah, you're on the day sesh. Ask her about Coral.
Where's option for beer? Wait a minute. That's not a red stripe, is it? I like this bar.
Back, man. You take the fucking blue suede shoes off and get the grippers out in the bar.
Holy.
Okay. Alright.
Had a peek upstairs to see where I'd be staying the night.
You wang your head off one of the bedposts. Best night's sleep you ever had.
Mate, you've got a cook chair as well in the corner.
Real. Holy.
Get me in there. Give her one for me, darling. There's something to be said about the relaxed atmosphere of this place. I don't think you'd be headed here for a Larry mega night out. But you could have a good time basking in the sun with a six-pack. Soak up some good sun by the big tree. And look at that for a sight. That's as scenic as it gets. Activities are a bit lacking. You've got the bookshop, but, I mean, have you ever read a book pissed? Could partake in a bit of archery. I about gave this guy a fresh trim. He's had too many. We'll start off in the middle. This is a pretty standard gaff. But this is just the beginning. After a long perilous journey to Skingraft, we arrived at our second destination. Truth be told, I'm not the biggest fan of this place. It's a bit too uptight. It's got that vibe of being a bit military. Like the type of place that would have like really strict traffic wardens. Get a ticket on your horse in 5 minutes. Westfield Inn.
Okay, there's people.
You'll speak to the short king.
Hello. Yeah, I like them.
You get any closer,
They
and I'll
say
turn your
when
boat.
you
I'm getting sensory overload, man.
I've heard others say the same. Safe travels.
Why is she shouting safe travels, bro? Safe travels!
This is a weird place.
So there's another inn there.
Okay.
Two sisters. Like. Oh no, it's an orc.
Bagman, give me your best orc impression.
Maybe the sleeping quarters can redeem this place a bit.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's a bit bright, but
This is where I'd f you.
there is another cock chair.
Yeah, Lucas will watch.
This is nice. This is real nice. Sunlight.
That's not the cuck chair. That's the post-nut clarity chair.
That's what you think about while you shag the fat melon that you brought back on the night out. Do you reckon I can include that in the video that I just said?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you have a drink right here?
No.
No. Not much in the way of post-beer activities either. I spotted this wine production, but then I remembered about the grippers, and well, that put me off a bit. The locals talk too much, and the vibe ain't right. I ain't coming back here. Skin graft can safely go towards the bottom of the pile. Just for clarification, we're going to avoid Snatch. Bit of a fiery mess, so let's avoid it for now. Let's head to Advil. Now this is nice. Turquoise gate, stone bleach houses. I do love a bit of beige. And I'd have no problem sinking a few meads here.
Advil's nice, isn't it?
It looks a bit like Bath. I don't want to been to Bath. But I mean, I've got my own problems with Bath. Like, have you ever been to Bath?
I've not been to Bath.
No.
You can't get in the bath.
Well, yeah, because they're ancient Roman bath.
Well, yeah, but I don't care where Cicero washed his balls. I want to get in the bath. I won't.
Yeah. I think you should. Oh, yeah, this place is nice.
He's got a painting. Have you ever watched Sonic for Hire? If anyone's watched Sonic for Hire, they know what that means. Fantastic selection of wine. Should we go see the Bloody Massacre?
You want?
Now this is an activity to do with the boys.
The Bella! Look at the...
Once you finish slaughtering the local town crier, you'll even get yourself a nice rest. More than adequate bedroom with a nice dining table. Anvil's starting to win me over.
I like how he just like mounted the candle on the table, just like full sent it.
I'd like to mount you on the table.
What?
Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna whack it in standard gaff. It was nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not a top town, you know. We then took a perilous journey all the way down to Brazil. I packed as many guaranas as I possibly could and headed right there. Shout out to my Brazilian viewers, I know you love that. However, unlike everyone's favourite carbonated drink, the inside of Brazil was not so great. I arrived to a derelict wasteland. Where's all the carnivals and the beach football? The first local I came across was Wretched Aya. Don't think she's getting on the fruit machines later. I wonder if Wretched is her first name. After trawling around this bog, I finally found a first inn. We've got ourselves another wall watcher. Sums up this place really.
Hello.
Even the local dealer's no good. He's got one puny table of product and that's it. I can't in good faith even stop here for one. Ugh.
Mate, what is this?
Mate, you don't get a cook chair, you get a cook stool. It's like a prison cell, not a f***ing hotel room. Ugh. If you're enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. Any engagement on the video really helps. Cheers guys. With all the support on the last two videos, I even managed to get myself a new microphone. I arrived to Leyawind in a rage. The guards confiscated my skooma at the gate, and this place has just got a big dirty pond.
Why have you got your fists up like you're ready to fight?
Because I've been to the bar, mate. I've had a Stella. Who wants it? I was just swinging at anything. The gloomy green smog really put a dampener on my mood. And inside's no better. They didn't have any KP nuts, they just had a cheese wedge. It's dreadful. This is getting out of hand. Is there nothing better to do in Cyrodiil than to look at the wall? Fancied a scrap, so I went to the company hall. But then I sobered up and came to my senses. I pinched a bit of Nirnroot to smoke on the way, and headed off to my next location. This place ain't no good. I'm gonna put it in the yellow tier of I ain't coming back. Next up we've got Cheydinhal. But really, I probably shouldn't have smoked all that Nirnroot. Managed to lose my clothes in the process. We're getting close to the finish now. Cheydinhal's a weird place, man. Like everyone here is drinking IPA like dragons. And I'm not here for that. After a long journey, I just need a good old-fashioned brew. Let's see what they can offer.
What is it now?
Okay, friendly.
I haven't time.
Oh my god.
Annoying creature.
I'm fucking not welcome here, am I?
Everyone's a fucking asshole to you.
Let's try the other pub then.
90.
Tidy. Mariana and Sharia.
Alright,
Hostess.
stop
Bye.
wassing, fucking hell.
Bro, imagine you fucking introduce yourself by just saying your full name.
Greetings, I'm Kabagman. Would you know what I meant if I said this place reminds me of like upper class hippies? No one was nice to me here, you know? I have been having fun looking at all these new locations, but really, I'm a Skyrim player. And as I looked off into the mountains, it reminded me of home. Maybe it's because I'm British and we live in permanent cold, but I was excited for Bruma, so much so that I fell on my face. Now this is more like it. Good old-fashioned castle walls, up in the cold, just how I like it. Now if you're from the UK, you'll know all about this. When you're at a bar or a pub outside and you press the little button for the heater, fires out here just constantly keep going. You know Olaf's gonna have nothing daft on tap. He's serving Carlin, John Smith's, and a Guinness. Beers for the everyman. And he's got rooms going at his B&B for cheap too. 10 gold, what's steal? And it's humble, nothing too posh. Good, honest, northern hospitality.
Hello.
Hello. And it's pretty beautiful in the daytime too. Your hangover would be fine if you're waking up to this. Besides, no better way to start a hangover than by drinking again. It looks nice and modern here. Probably even do oat milk for a coffee. For the truly welcoming blend of making me feel like I'm back at home, I'm definitely going to be putting this one in the second to top tier. This is a top town. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to the Imperial City. Hold on to your cheeks, this could take the top spot. We've arrived, but there's still something important we've got to do first. There's an inn outside the city, so of course we've got to check it out. Walnut Inn. Mate, that sums up this game. Like you enter the door and you're already just staring at a wall like the rest of the Neanderthal NPCs. Yeah, mate, do you want to look at a rug on a wall? Yes, sick.
Yeah, you. Come here. I got what you need.
You got a red stripe?
Okay, but what about a bear on the bridge?
Oh. Oh, now we're cooking. I could get down with the bear on the bridge. I feel like you'd want to sit right here so that in case you fall in, you don't break your legs. Alright, let's get in there. Oh, that's a poster, bro. Kind of reminds me of Central London. Defo paying £15 for a pint here. He's called No Coins. This place is real swish. It's not like any of the places I've been to prior. And since I'm somewhere so posh, I thought I'd get some new threats. Divine Elegance. Get me in the green brocade, bro. I'm Kabagman, I've got to have green drift. Oh no. Oh no, I've got my cock out. I thought, we're all dripped out. Let's go see the town. But there's no one here. And that's when Lucas reminded me of something really important.
This is the arena. You can bet on a fight.
What, I can go gambling?
Yeah, you can bet.
Oh, nah. Nah. You don't know I was on about post-beer activities. He's telling me I can go to the Colosseum. Are you mad? I can hear the clinging of swords. Oh, no, get me in there. Let's go, blue team. Nah. Nah, this is sick. Love a bit of cheap wine. I need to see. Blue is the colour. Football is the game. Oh no, he's getting whacked. How is she not dead? No, she's gonna do him. No. No, she's actually battering him. Do they actually ever die? No, you're joking.
Mate, he's out cold.
He's dead, mate. No, I can't believe I bet on the blue team. He came out with full armor, a shield, and a dagger, and he got beaten by some bird with a fist. I became enraged and smashed up the gaff.
I've won so much money, I can't stop betting. I think I need help.
Relatable. I'm ride or die, blue team. Get me back in. Okay, it's an even match. Go on, son. Oh! Spinning elbow. Go on, my son. No. No, I need to get in there. Can I fight in there?
Yeah, you can fight.
Holy sh! Get my fist out. Who wants it? Go on, son. No. Oh my f***ing god. Where do I sign up?
You're gonna look.
Oh my god, I look like a twink. Oh no. Oh no. I'm a bit nervous. Am I even in the blue team? What? He comes out with... Mate, he's got a full-blown sword! Watch this. Watch this. Watch it for the finishing move. Yeah. Woo! Sick.
That's the grand champion there. May that all coming in.
Oh my. Mate, they've even got a pub on a boat. Bit of a gimmick, but hey, in the capital city. Gotta do it.
The bloated float.
The bloated float.
What can I do for you?
Rude. Oh, go away, man. How can I argue with this place? The Colosseum won me over. We've really got to bring them back. This easily sticks it in Let's Get Larry. Let's go over some honourable mentions. On my travels I ran into a place called Bliss. I didn't want to include it in the list because it's not a proper city in the overworld, but it's got charm. It's a piece of paper on the floor, you nice woman.
Treacherous little filcher! How dare you steal from me?
It's a piece of paper on the floor, you cow. Museum of Oddities. Get up to a bit of thievery with the boys. Water walking?
Here's the ring of... Well, now, where did it go? Things have a way of disappearing around here. There's enough to drive a person insane.
Oops. Whoa. Holy... I'm Jesus. I could do some water walking with the boys, I'll tell you that.
What would you say is your favorite tavern then?
My mum's house.
What about a home invasion beer?
Oh, yeah, what about a home invasion beer?
Imagine this guy wakes up and you've just got a topless man with a steel claymore on his back sitting in your dining room.
Drinking a six-pack.
Check his cupboards.
Oh. You know what? It's funny, I haven't been to Oblivion to review an Oblivion beer. Well, let's have an Oblivion beer.
Oh, if you've got water walking, can you walk over the lava?
That's a great question.
Yo! Well, you can walk on it, just not for very long.
POV just stepped off the train at Shap. Picture this. It's your first ever time setting foot in Skyrim. You've just anchored at the docks of Riften, and at last your adventure begins. But what is your goal? Slay dragons? Recover ancient treasure? No, don't be daft. We're going beer spotting. Deciding on just a single location for a brew is a near impossible task, so you're coming with me and the boys on the pilgrimage of Pilsner. Together we'll walk every path, batter all the locals, drink every beer. Let's give them a ranking as we go along, and by the end of our journey, we'll finally be able to answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Skyrim? Riften is a strange gaff. Like someone's always got their eye on you, especially if you're sending a beer at sunrise. But how could you not when you've got the meadery adjacent to the boozer? Locally sourced bevies are always far superior. I'm looking at you, British Asahi. Let's pile into the Bee and Barb for our first location.
I don't have any business with you, so get out of my face.
This place is packed out. We got guys and gals on every table, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. Got some big time booze in, and got some 3-course dinners on the go. The lizards are more than hospitable, but it feels like more of a pit stop pub. Sink yourself a swift pint and a sweet roll, and then slither away. You could spill out onto the market and buy some knockoff red stripes, then head down to the docks for a spot of fishing. Beer and angling is amongst the finer things in life. Unfortunately, I'm too broke for the fishing mod, so I quite literally took matters into my own hands.
Steal the fish.
I've nicked your salmon and all.
Silly salmon.
Maybe we can cleanse our drunken sins at the temple.
I'd love to live in Skyrim.
Where would you live in Skyrim?
The College of Winterhold.
Yeah, just bare cold. Like, it's bare cold.
Yeah, but then if you're a magician, you just warm yourself up, lol.
True.
Cast Warm Self. If you can shoot fireballs, then you can cast Warm Self.
Especially if you're a high-level magician. The word magician's so much funnier than mage.
It is. It is. Magician is hilarious.
What are you, mate? I'm a magician.
Oh, no.
Blessings of Mara. What do you think you're doing?
Of course, you fight the one guy that's the mage, the magician.
The magician.
Come on.
What do you think of a mortuary beer? You can crack open a cold one with the cold ones.
That's genius. Should we make 2 cold ones? Oh shit.
Okay, yep.
Well, that didn't cleanse much. Maybe the sewers will provide some respite. Do you like going for a dirty pint? There's a place near me that's not very sophisticated, but it does a Foster's and a pack of Scampi fries for like £4.30. And it shows the football. It's my favourite spot to go to. And speaking of not very sophisticated, down in the depths of the Ratways, we stumble across the Ragged Flagon. It serves the role of a community hub for nitbags, fences, thieves, and residents of Stoke. I didn't expect to find a romantic spot, but this quaint little dinner table is doing it for me. Imagine taking your missus to the Sewer Brewer. It must be said that down here, you can get into a spot of bother very fast. And I'm a bit of a lightweight. 3 pints in and I'll be getting a bit leery. Might ping a roast beef off of Delvin's big head. Maybe I'll stick to the Beck's Blue. Don't fancy ending up floating. That's everything for Riften. A few swings and a few misses. I reckon it lands in B tier. Let's hit the road for some more rural locations. A little wobble down the road is Shaw's Watch. The scenery is incredible. Chilling on a chair at the top with a sight like this, being a guard might not be so bad after all. Reminds me of the time I went to Carlisle WMC and had a similar view. Out the back of the boozer looking at hills, unbeatable. A watchtower beer would be truly phenomenal. But the dead-ass guards are kinda throwing me off, I can't lie. So how about we go to the other end of the spectrum with a cheeky cavern beer? Now listen, I can get down with some degenerate cave gambling, but that's if we weren't pitting wolves against each other. That's just mean. This could have been a good spot. What happened to a bit of dodgy poker? But I do respect the dedication to construct an actual bar down here. Still a D tier. Leave the wolves alone. Listen, right, if you take out the ops from the hot springs, you've got yourself a banger spot for a brew. Get your kit off and get in the water. I reckon you want something real crispy. I'm really into Becks at the minute. Take one of them with you. But don't be silly and wander off too far though. Bossman, don't take too kindly to visitors. In my humble opinion, I think cold and sunny is one of the best weather types. So supplementing that with hot water and beer is just sensational. Straight to S tier. Up in the mountains is the Imperial Camp. Now look, War Camp might not seem like the greatest vibe, but if you frame it a bit differently, it does have potential. Listen, you're with the boys, you're out in nature, you've got open fire cooking, and you've snuck a couple of meads with you. On paper, that's just phenomenal, right? If there wasn't the threat of getting your head smashed in, it'd be mint. But there is that threat, so it's D tier. Have any of you ever been to like a members only place? This orc gaff won't let me in because I'm an outsider.
You have no business in our stronghold, Outlander.
Rude. Kind of reminds me of like those social clubs knocking about in the UK. Are they for swingers or just regular socializing? Anyway, it's really nice in here. I love somewhere with gates. Makes me feel safe, you know? Big fan of a fence. Reminds me when I first started dating my missus. She tried telling me, she's like, no, I'm not posh. But when I took her back to our house for the first time, she's like, hey Siri, open gates. Like, bro, how you got gates to your house that open on your phone and you're trying to tell me you're not posh? Anyway, beer and food are like yin and yang. If either of them are good, it makes the other one better. But if both are good, then you're really winning. Every month, me and the boys go out for a curry club. I have a big fat chicken sarg, and I have a big fat pint of Cobra, and it is the highlight of the month. I suppose that's what matters most to me. When I'm going beer spotting, I generally like to have social locations. I like a secluded solo beer, don't get me wrong. But for the top spots, it's always got to be one with the boys. Because what am I without them? Oh my fucking Christ.
Cowabunga it is.
What is going on? No, I'm drinking I'm eating the cheese wheel. Please wait a minute, mate. Oh no. After a long-winded wander, we finally hit Windhelm, which in a lot of ways is essentially a fantasy version of modern-day Britain. They're pulling off the Tamriel Brexit with a spot of mild discrimination.
We ought to dig a big hole, throw all them dark elves and Argonians in it, and let them tear each other to pieces.
You know, it's giving me UK Christmas market vibes. If you're lucky enough to find yourself at one of these, grab yourself a Sunday roast wrap and a mulled wine. But even the UK isn't this cold. It looks absolutely Baltic. So if you're on the piss in Windhelm, bring a magician's robe, because it's eternal winter here. I like a cold cozy day as much as you do, but we do need summertime every now and then. A few disposable barbecues and a crate of souls type of motive, you know? But if we want to warm ourselves up, there's no better place than Candlehearth Hall. Now this is a mega boozer. We got ourselves a double-decker pub. The staff are on point. I reckon the bartenders can really make or break a spot. I know it's not always a glamorous job, but you don't want to see a sad face pulling the pints. And they've even got Cronenberg on tap. You can hear the lizard lady on the drums echoing around the walls. Gives the place a nice atmosphere. I'm always a fan of calm live music. Still want to be able to chat bollocks, just with a backing track. But the pièce de résistance is the central heating. Have a deeks at this fireplace, mate. I'd be like a moth to a flame. How are you ever meant to leave when it's so painfully cold outside when you've got the roaring fire? Well, maybe you just wouldn't, because on top of everything else, they've got some handsome rooms available too. Candlehearth Hall is an absolute belter. Quick side note, the stairs of the city are an absolute trip hazard. 4 meads and they might be a problem. There's not much to write home about for the rest of Windhelm, so in true British fashion, let's sail to a neighbouring country. Raven Rock is full of a bunch of stiffs. Can't get too far off the boat without a lecture. All the locals are depressed, and that shows because they've had to install the boozer 10 steps from the dock. Drowning your sorrows in under a minute of being here isn't promising. But they do have a local brew. Sujama comes in a fancy pot. Looks like a bit of traditional sake. Wonder if they've got a Wagamama's. It does look a bit too posh for me though. Where's the handle? Reminds me of a swanky coffee shop I went to. I prefer like a Star of Pramen glass. Give me a big fat handle. After leaving the city gates, I found myself at a boat bar. Once I'd cleared out the local knobheads, it makes for a unique experience. Seasickness is always a problem on a moving ship. Being stationary, we get the best of being on a boat without all the downsides. In Leicester, we used to have a landlocked boat bar called the Dry Dock. Cool place. Shame it was demolished for uni flats, but hey ho. Now I really thought that the humongous mushroom just had to be a wonderful spot. But the magician up top is just a bit of a wanker. The company you're in is just as important as the place, and if he's the only conversation here, I'd rather take a 4-pack to the roof. This is more like it. I will admit that it's ludicrously dangerous, but you could camp up here and watch the volcano and skies for hours. Big thanks to this fella for showing me how to get up here.
Said it couldn't be. What?
And please be careful of the stairs.
Okay.
One thing I've learned so far is that no one in Skyrim can quite dodge the bottle. Even the nerdiest of nerds still slam a couple of glasses of Savvy B in the bedroom. The ocean view of this camp is pretty sweet. Am I just blind, or is this the first tapped barrel I've seen? Being a bandit doesn't seem so bad. The Skull Village serves up grilled hawker meat. The best pairing for something this fatty is a good stout. And just so fortunately for us, there's a dwarven construct up ahead. If there's one thing I know for sure about dwarves, is that they love a Guinness. Unfortunately, the dwarves have long since buggered off, and we're left with these equally small twats lobbing spears at us. I'm gonna have to put both places F tier. You know when a beer tells you that it wants to be served ice cold? They mean they want it to be served here, upon the ice throne. I'm gonna be honest with you, Solstheim for the most part is just a cave simulator. There's a hut here and a port there, so I had to find something a bit more abstract, and that's when I came across this. If you go far enough along the coast, you'll find a shoal of netches, and just behind them on the shore is a perfectly fallen tree. This is just perfect for me right now. After having wandered the entire island and mostly just finding pain, this was a much needed reprieve and a bit of peace for once. Take a seat and watch this floating small family mill about for a bit. How pleasant. But from here, I spotted what I think might just be the most lonely spot in the entire game. Get your cozy on and swim out to this tiny remote island. There isn't a single item here, just you and a tree. But if you like a solitary beer, this one's for you. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's head to Miraak's Lair, also known as Apocrypha? Not exactly the most welcoming of places. Could use a bit of a refurb if I'm going to be honest. However, if you like gothic decor, might be your type of place. For me though, the endless gloopy ocean isn't quite my scene. This is how you read in 2030. To me, the whole place feels like when you're at a motive that you're not quite sold on, and you need to get a little bit leery to enjoy yourself. Happened to me a few weeks ago, and I ended up like this. After scoping the place out, naturally I challenged Mirak to a drinking contest. I can challenge him to a drinking contest.
Please tell me he drinks.
Wait, what's... Oh no, I lost! No! No, where am I gonna end up? What the fuck is this noise, bro? I'm kinda scared. Can you hear this noise as well?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Crumble, crumble. You have to push the button, of course.
When I'm faced with a question and any possible answer is right, I always go right.
But right facing in or facing out?
My right. But the problem is, you would think this one is right? But what about this right?
That's also right.
Oh, that clearly wasn't right.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh dear. He took 900 gold from you, bro.
What? Ah, that's it.
That's enough.
Oh shit.
What? No!
Nah, that was sick.
What the f-
Oh shit.
Holy shit! That was scary, bro. Oh.
Okay, he's got full ebony. Gauntlets of pain?
You mean, I think you'll find I've got full ebony. So after travelling every inch of Solstheim, I can confirm that the best spot for a beer here is on the boat back to Skyrim. I don't remember this mountain. I wonder if there's anything like cool there.
Might be some snow.
Maybe a cave?
Yeah.
Perhaps a Draugr. Back to our homeland of Skyrim, we've got the tough trip up to Winterhold. I'm armed with a Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon on a cold Thursday afternoon. Let's get it done. I bumped into a few brave boozers getting liquored at the side of the road. Could never be me. I need to be warm. I'm hitting the pub heater button on cooldown. After a good while of toughing out the conditions, I found a rather conveniently placed inn. I decided that a drink was deserved after a big day of travelling. My drink of choice was a Cyrodiilian brandy that I persuaded from some bloke.
Don't bother me, peasant. I've had a long journey and paid too much.
Our next stop is the Monument of Azura. Truly a sight for sore eyes after having to batter 300 wolves to get here. This is like the equivalent of drinking a Brahma on top of Christ the Redeemer. Colossal statue beer is fantastic, but make sure you don't drop your bottles.
No.
On the topic of big beautiful buildings, I took a slight detour to the Frostflow Lighthouse, which I thought might be a little cozy spot with a nice view out the top. Turns out there's been a mild slaughter inside. No bueno. Enough faffing around, let's get ourselves to Winterhold. It's a bit of a bollocks town, to be honest. A few poncy shops and a copy-paste pub, but we can ignore all of that in favour of the college. Whilst I was at my monthly beer and curry with the boys, one of my mates said that the student nights at the Mages College had to be class, and that immediately took me back 10 years to Mosh Tuesdays. If you know, you know. University club nights back in my day were unreal. £2.50 for a double vodka mixer. You could have a night out for like a tenner. Mind you, they did taste like anthrax. But back to the world at hand, the student union here eluded me, but I did find the library. I couldn't help but notice the bottles located on every single table. Leads me to believe that an alto wine and a book must be the equivalent to 12 buds in front of the TV. The student halls had a comical comparison to real life. I don't know if this is a thing in America, but over here the students will often leave their alcohol displayed on a window ledge. And the legends here have got sort of the same thing going on. I promise I didn't stage this. Just some big peevers in Winterhold. I'll give the college a solid A tier. But I'm pushing 30. I can't be hanging out with the students anymore, so I decided to take a small leap of faith towards the north. Septimus Cygnus' lair is the epitome of Skyrim drinking culture. He set up a research facility, so what did he bring with him? No food, no sleeping roll, just crystals, books, and beer, the bare essentials. The trek from Winterhold to Dawnstar was incredibly uninspiring, unless you've got the hankering for like 17 bandit camps. And worse yet, Dawnstar itself has absolutely pish and nish to offer. There's a couple of mines if you want some work. No one tell Thatcher, please. And the guards seem jolly. But if hard labour and coppers are the highlight, it's not looking good. Even the Dark Brotherhood told me to do one. Much like Solstheim and Milton Keynes, the best part of this town is its transport links.
If Josh was a John something, what would he be? Just John Unemployment.
Cheers.
John.
James would be John Dumbass.
You'd be f***ing,
Well then, Josh, lad.
You'd be
Oh yeah.
You're gonna start touching on him.
Morpho strikes me as the kind of place. So you know, have you ever passed through like a proper like grim town, like somewhere
Like
that was
Shap.
like no, like somewhere that was like the height of like coal mining or steel production back in the day, and it's fell into disrepair as the industries left.
Shap.
This is Morthal.
Morthal is Shap.
You go on the boozer in Morthal. They've got Carlsberg, Guinness, John Smiths, and then like
Worthingtons, Boddingtons.
Yeah, they've got like inches on tap.
Oh, no, not inches.
If you need anything,
Nah, like
I'll be
inches.
around.
Annie, you go up to the bar and say 6 inches, please.
I don't know, man. Like fucking. So Morthal has a bit of like a special place on my.
I bet you didn't see that one coming.
No, but I like Morthal because it kind of reminds me of where I live. There's not a great deal happening here, but it's kind of peaceful.
Carlisle's minter.
Carlisle is mint, lad. Alright, do you want to see some at mint now? Hold on.
I'm on none.
Thoughts?
I've got a lot of time for that. Alright, lads, I'll see you later. I'm going to bed.
Hello and welcome to Kabagman's Friday night. I've just had a Hever and I'm currently drinking a Kirin Ichiban. The next bit of voiceover might not make a lot of sense. The journey from Morthal to Solitude was very pleasant. A touch more greenery was a warm welcome. And the sight of Solitude poking through the trees got me hopeful of what the capital might bring us. Because if it's another pasted pub... Firstly, I've played this game for hundreds of hours and I've never known about this entrance to the city. Honestly, it seems like a bit of a security issue. You could nick a salmon and scarp her off and be on a boat within a minute. The Winking Skeever is finally a break from the monotonous taverns. Spiced wine? This might be the only bar in Skyrim with good lighting. A few torches go a long way. But speaking of fire, I'm not entirely convinced of the flame-grilled cabbage they've got on offer. Ignoring that, the pub gets its name from a grand old story.
Well, as it turns out, I had a pet skeever when I was a boy, and he used to wink.
The Winky Steve's is a brill place to go. Now in my head, I had to think that the Bard's College would be a piss-up classic. Students, arts, capital city, no brainer, right? But it's somehow the only place in the entire region without a beer on every table. This wasn't a piss up, this was a piss take. If the students aren't getting on it, we've got big problems. We rely on them to keep the booze flowing on weekday nights. When we've got to go to work, they're the real heroes. Mate, I swear I've walked this entire city. I've been to the temple, I've been to the barracks, I've visited all the homes, I've punched up a few guards. I can't find anything. I thought Solitude was going to be an expansive segment where I'm here for the next 5 minutes. But it's genuinely shite. There's nothing here, mate.
And will you also be needing the bow that shoots rainbows? Or perhaps a quiver that dispenses beer?
Yes.
Look.
You can't even appreciate the sights because of the confines of the walls. All you've got is sky and brick. The only thing left to do is leave. But I did get some new drip on the way out. Where to next? Well, excuse my pronunciation on this one, but Castle Volkihar could be considered a tough sell. The vampire cattle and moderate bloodshed might be off-putting. But if you can open your mind to look past that, you'll have yourself a grand time. First and foremost, the people here are so friendly. The waiting staff are never too far away, and even the guests are always willing to help.
Do you need something?
Do you need something? Do you need something?
Do you need something?
Draft barrels on the dinner table is revolutionary, and frankly, quite dangerous. Perhaps refilling your drink shouldn't be that easy. That's a surefire method to end up in a bad way. And it is quite far from civilization. Tamriel Uber might have some trouble getting here. But that's no problem, because there's plenty of sleeping arrangements available. I guarantee you I've slept in worse places. Has to be better than a night at Leeds Fest. And hey, at least they've got central heating. Castle Dracula ain't that bad. Give it a whirl. There's a lot less stuff on the left side of the map, but because we're not in a constant state of blizzard, the views and scenery get to stand out a bit more. A hilltop Helles at the shrine would go down an absolute treat. This is the Journeyman's beer. I'm not sure where they got the idea that Markarth might be safe.
This is Markarth, traveler. Safest city in the Reach.
Bue's been shanked on the entrance, and there's a fella croaked it in the fishing cage. Who needs general safety when you've got the heritage and history that this city provides? Dwarven architecture built into a cliff face? This is Tourist Destination 101. We love a bit of old stuff. Pubs are one of the few places where you'd actively seek out an older establishment. Wanna check out the new High Street bar? Nah, I wanna go to the ancient Dwarven Boozer. My dad got me some old beer from the world's oldest active brewery for Christmas. Let me give you a quick review. Class. Old is good. But sometimes, things from the past do need to be updated. I couldn't think of anything worse than sleeping on a stone bed whilst the ceiling's already spinning. Shadow, stop eating my salmon. But you know what the thing is about Markarth? I've never once thought on any of my trips to Skyrim, yeah, I'll buy a home here. Murder aside, there's just an ominous feeling. Like a few nights or a week here might be okay, but settling down's just not an option. My kids aren't going to Markarth Primary School, and the Silverblood Inn is never going to be my local pub. It's a place that you come here once, you see the machines, you drink the beer, and then you leave. The road to Falkreath reminds me that sometimes following the beaten path isn't so bad. Sometimes those paths are beaten for a reason. The walk here was so quiet and pleasant compared to the rest of Skyrim. There's no hawkers, there's no bandits, it's just you, a bit of cobblestone, and a signpost to point you in the right direction. I wonder where they got the name Dead Man's Drink. It might seem like I'm skipping over a few things, but it's getting to the point where I'm having to repeat certain parts. Falkreath doesn't have much more to offer than, say, the likes of Morthal. It's a bit foresty, it's a bit snowy, and it's kinda nice. Maybe this is a bit posher, but it's just what's outside the town that interests me most. The Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary is ironically the biggest gathering of friends in the game.
But now he's dead, and I have a new loincloth.
This band of assassins is the only time I've ever heard any laughter. So whilst their cave might be a bit dingy, they're the homeliest people. Having a laugh and a cheers is what it's all about. I'd share a spicy one with these guys. Helgham's become home to the bandits. Riverwood's a bit of a pokey little village. It's about time that we get into the real meat of the matter. The first impression of Whiterun is Honningbrew Meadery. Really sets the tone of what's to come. These guys know how to run a proper establishment. They've got barrels on barrels on barrels loaded to the brim. The people of this hold will have plenty to drink, which is handy because there is the most taverns per square meter in Whiterun than anywhere else in Skyrim. 2 pubs, 1 social club, and 1 Reach of Dragons really defines this city as the beer capital of Skyrim. Let's start with the Bannered Mare. It's a complete sensory overload.
Dink, driving my
Don't mean to be
customers
rude,
away.
but I'm too busy to talk right now.
The gods smile on them who show charity. Best you remember that.
It's great. Everything that a rough and ready city centre pub should be. But on the other side of the coin, there's the Drunken Huntsman. Library levels of quiet, no one talking over the room. This is where you'd come after a hard day's work if you're the reserved type. Chill out by the fire. However, if you're the opposite of reserved, you'll find yourself at Horvaskr. My first impression of this gaff was a bare knuckle brawl, which is quite telling for the type of place this is. Just look at the layout. 1 central table. Everyone can hear everyone, so any shit talking will result in combat. By the way, Brill is a hysterical name. I use Brill on a daily basis as a shortening for brilliant. It's something that in the UK, your mum would say all the time. That's Brill, that is. Whiterun in general has all the right vibes. I really enjoy this central circle fountain. If you're going for a nitty park bench beer, this has got to be the one. You've got everything here. The safety of the Walls of Solitude and Windhelm, but there's so much more character than the former, and the weather is way better than the latter. But with Whiterun being the first major hold explored by most people, why have I kept it waiting for so long? That's because of Dragon's Reach. And for what I think might just be one of the best spots of the year. Out on the porch you'll find a lone table placed on the enormous balcony. This is the Beer of Kings, not to be confused with the King of Beers. At the highest point of the city, overlooking the great expanse around you, you've got the sun above your head, and you've got the world beneath your feet. Does it get much better than this? Well, maybe, because there's one place on the overworld we haven't been to yet. High Hrothgar is home to the stiffest folk in Skyrim. The Greybeards aren't the conversationalists, and I don't fancy staring at a grey wall. So let's ditch these squares and head to the throat of the world. Paarthurnax would be an incredible drinking buddy. You'll always feel safe if your mate just so happens to be a 50-foot dragon. But he hasn't actually picked the best spot. No matter which way you spin it, up here is just up. The only party piece is that you're high in the sky. You're just up. Nothing else but up. So naturally, I had a few beers with my pal, and unsurprisingly I was drunk under the table by the large wyvern type fella. And then, I woke up at our final destination. Endless food, endless song, and endless drink. All neatly prepared for you forever in Sovngarde's Hall of Valor. This could be the beer spotter's mecca. Step outside to watch the incredible skyscape, sit above the behemoth waterfall, talk to the heroes of past about every story you could ever imagine. Your cup will always runneth over, but is this what we want? Life's enjoyment comes from overcoming challenges. A beer tastes just right because it's reward for a hard day's work. Pints around the clock just becomes normal. May as well be water. So despite the temptation, I won't put Sovngarde at the top, because the best spot for a beer in Skyrim is at the end of Blackreach after you've had to suffer mowing down 245 motherfucking Draugrs. You deserve it. Cheers. What are the best two moments of every year? The first beer of summer and the annual Minecraft server with the boys. It seems obvious now, but why have I never combined the two? Today, that changes. But there's two different ways we could go about it. Firstly, I could embark on a quest across the map, searching high and low for ideal locations. But what is Minecraft without its community? And who am I without my community? So the answer is obvious. Gather the best people around me and celebrate with a competition. Who can build the best spot for a beer in Minecraft? You write that back, damn it.
Yeah, just give me a quick moment. I'm just spawning John. Come on, John, let's go.
At last, John. Oh, before we go, I've got a little present for you. Have one of them.
What is it? Holy, it's a beer. Oh my god, that's
Mate.
awful. Come on, John, let's go. Ooh!
Can John not swim?
Oh, John can't swim.
Let's just... No, don't drink another beer, you idiot.
I'm 4 beers deep right now. Mate, I'm up right now. This is actually making me nauseous.
Welcome to Woodmoss Raceway.
We're gonna do something pretty good here. Hop over the
Turnstile.
The turnstile, so we'll just...
Oh, yeah, no, I ain't paying for entry. Drinks $1, premium drinks $2, only 1 bottle per purchase. Are we on rations, mate?
You know OnlyFans, right?
Yep.
What if you opened one for you, and like your gimmick was to put like beer bottles in your...
What?
Drinks available. What? Red Stripe, Modelo Especial, Corona. Alright, where should we go, mate? Where's first? Stop fucking capturing me! Pigs aren't very fast, are they?
Should we spawn John?
That is not John, mate.
Why are there 2 Johns?
This was a really good first location. Gave us a bit of everything, and we got to watch John at full pace. This sets a nice benchmark.
I like this one.
The thing is, though, is I've never actually been to the races. Well, I suppose I've been to the horse races, but...
You've never been to the John races?
No, never to the John races.
He's got a medical bay in case he crash. He's got the back rooms. Oh, is this like a winner's pool? This is like Monaco. What's this large glass container? Is that a beer? Yeah, that's actually a beer, isn't it? Holy. Wait,
Imagine this. Couple of beers, just watching the races. The problem is look, where are you gonna piss?
Maybe that's why you open up the bottle and then piss in the bowl.
Real.
Oh shit, I think the creator's standing over there, James. Can you see him? Oh, I found the mythical crate of beers. Can you pronounce the name of this one?
Schnorsbrow Schnorsbock 54.
True. Let's make our way to our second location.
Oh, this looks good.
Mate, you seeing this interior? Nah,
Yeah.
this guy kind of cooked.
Mate, do you know what beer's really good, like ice cold?
What's that?
Super Bock.
Is there a beer that's better when it's not ice cold?
No. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna spawn a ghast in here.
Please don't spawn a ghast in here. James! James!
Oh shit!
James!
Oh, sorry, he died.
Don't spawn it, it'll blow up the whole place, man. You probably spent hours doing this.
But come upstairs, come upstairs.
Okay.
There's a little water elevator here, bruv. You meet a bird, you have a very nice candid moment, just casually just watching the sunset. While with beer in hand. I'm gonna spawn a ghast again.
Just don't. Someone's probably very proud of this. Can you see the problem? Are you getting me pissed from a distance? What is this? Are these the local gulls? That's a problem. It's gonna go down 5 points. These are some Larry birds if I've ever seen them. I'm giving it ghast out of 10.
Who's this geezer here?
Is that John? Me and James found ourselves on a colossal build, mate. This must have taken several centuries to complete. But look at the result. This reminds me of a game that should not be mentioned. What's that fucking bollocks one on the Dreamcast that I didn't like?
Skies of Arcadia, a universally beloved game.
Not by me.
Mate, it's just a big ass keg, mate. No way. He's filled up the full thing with honey.
No, he hasn't.
He has as well.
That's genius and commitment, because he knew that we would break it and look at it. I would love to have a beer on an airship carrying a larger beer. This is a spectacle beer. This is a high fantasy beer. I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan, actually. I'm gonna go for better than Skies of Arcadia.
Oh god.
Let me introduce you to my friend Metal Pipe. Metal Pipe builds all of the transport links in the server.
See you later, mate. Mate, you pop out in the nether portal, you can have a couple of beers there, and then go straight to the fucking races, mate.
Oh, this is genius. It's Metal Pipe to go. But Metal Pipe's more than just a minecart, and more than a few portals. Metal Pipe did this.
Mate, this is picturesque, bro.
Good. Oh, Jesus.
Mate,
I found one problem, though.
What?
I've already fallen off.
What would you like to order? We've got snacks, coffee, or harder drinks. Kebab Man will have a J2O, and I will have the Gut Killer 9000. Mate, we've got the Metal Pipe Special, if you will.
What did he get me?
Whoa. I'm fucked up right now.
Bro's got a specialist bonus. MP then very kindly showed me and James to all the different drinking spots. There's so many hidden bars in this area. One to match every single vibe.
The whimsical grotto beer, if you will.
Oh, I like that. One of my favourites, though, was the secret underground hidden cave. Saved the best tricks for this one. This lever is for sending the delivery cart back down. This is like one of those sushi conveyor belts for beer.
What's in it, bruv?
Nah, it comes with a menu. Hot sauce in a bowl.
Perpetual blinding stew.
And then we need to send the minecart back up. Oh, I don't think it made it. Oh, did it? Oh my god, it did. Now we wait patiently for our drinks. You slayed any wicked hot slash recently, mate?
Yeah. Your mum.
Me and James quickly consumed our questionable scran, and we were left with a question. How do we rate a place like this? The time, effort, and dedication is just unmatched. Shame if something happened to it. I'm gonna give it out of 10. James comes in, bothers locals.
Give me a pint. I'm bringing in the evil geezers, if we're going to be like that.
Did you just give him
Got
some
a name
meat?
now.
Oh wait.
He's got a name now.
Larry Geezer. I mean, that's a pretty Larry thing to do, is to come into a bar and the first thing you do is shoot the shopkeeper in the head.
Yeah, the man's got the interdimensional blicking. No, man, come outside.
POV, you tried to get a pint in Croydon.
Yeah. Oh shit, it's like Brixton.
All things considered, Blicky out of 10. Me, James, and John then promptly arrived at Crowbellow's Roadhouse. Shuffleboard, just drop with Q. Oh! Oh, mate. Mate, go over here. How do you play Oh. Oh. Mate, Crowbellow thought of everything. He's got an Ender Dragon on the wall. Alexa, play Flute Salad. Oh my Christ. James. James, turn it off. We've got something to look at. We need to keep Andy away because he's got the fruities. Get me on Fishing Frenzy.
Broke. Oh mate, look at this. He's done the. He's
done a pool table.
Look at this.
How's he done that?
Yeah, mate. They've got the birds' toilets in here.
Oh, get me in there.
Yeah, what are you doing? Mate, they've got the geezer storage. Sorry, the freezer storage. Metal Pipes is like whimsical and fun, but like Crowbellow's is a boozer.
Boozer, mate. You telling me if your local pub had 2 premium fruities, a dragon on the wall, a shuffleboard, a jukebox, 2 pool tables, and geezer storage, you wouldn't be here?
What do you say about my lass? Don't rely on me. Don't call the police for 15 minutes. John's run away.
Your getaway car's nicked, mate. Is there anything that Crowbellow didn't think of?
Yeah, the crow above. Whoa.
Epilepsy skip 30. Unfortunately, after this, James was swiftly arrested, so me and Metal Pipe checked out 178 Knight's build. And I was not ready for this. We rowed our boats over to what might be the most extravagant build yet. This place is monumental, mate. I appreciate the warning signs because you know what I'm like with heights. As soon as you step foot through the door, you can see the quality and care that he's put into this. Not sure about the menu though. Didn't feel great after this one. I really appreciate the small details, like this small 2-seater that you would expect tucked away in a building like this. Great view. Loads of these little date tables stuck everywhere. Now there may have been an incident at the petting zoo. I was doing a bit where I was going to aim and then not fire, but I felt terrible when I've seen they've got names. He's even managed to include a game of dangerous darts. Turns out my aim needs a bit of work. Not sure I'd give James a crossbow after 4 red stripes. Honestly, I could have made a 20-minute video just about this one build. There's a new tiny detail everywhere you look. It's kind of blown me away that someone's done this for my video. The highlight has to be the drunk boating path though. Not that I endorse drunk boating, I took on Metal Pipe in a race. And I had the jump on him initially. Mate, this place was sick. Thank you, 178 Night. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. This is a premium beer drinking spot. Last but definitely not least, we've come across to Stevius's build, who is perfectly encapsulated going to a cold, windy nightclub on a Thursday. He's even included one-way doors for the bouncers to kick out their riffraff easily. Not only that, he's included a cinema room with my magnum opus. You know when you're on holiday, and you've taken that first sip of your beer of choice, and you think, yeah, this is it. It's one of the... Hilariously accurately captured the bogs too. I don't think this build sucks. I like it a lot. Outside you've got a fantastically dangerous diving spot. Stevius, don't be so hard on yourself. Gets a vodka mixer from me. You know, when I first made the idea for this video, I thought I was going to have a little competition, do everyone on a tier list, but then I realised that's not what this is about. With so many different types of builds, so many different vibes, I just can't compare them. So instead of naming a winner, instead of a big tier list, let's do what's really important. Blow up Metal Pipes Island. Picture this. You've got no jobs at Barrows, your Ranars have snuffed it, and you've been assigned 300 Iron Dragons. It's about time that you packed it all in and went for a pint instead. But where should we go to for that pint? There's over 30 different bars and pubs across RuneScape. Taverns, cocktail bars, and specialty brewers. I'll judge them based on a real-life criteria. Exploring the beer gardens, chatting to the locals, and sampling the brews. Then, we're going to put them all on a tier list to finally answer the age-old question, what is the best pub in old-school RuneScape? Lumbridge is a sleepy town. It's had its eyes open recently due to the addition of its maiden pub, the Sheared Ram. I appreciate they've stuck to conventional British name schemes. Bull's Head, King's Arms, Sheared Ram, fits right in. But what about them green boys over the canal? If you live in Varrock, they're going to give you some stick on the way home. Make sure you keep the British special on you, in case they kick off. 3 fellas in here. Foreign bloke who's got some interesting tales, and a chap who can help with clues. A pub's locals can really make or break the atmosphere, and having some helpful folk here gives it a leg up. I'm docking a few points on the brew selection though. I do pride myself on being an enjoyer of the everyman's beer, but just 1 barrel on tap is disappointing. But to me, this is the benchmark for a solid pub. Would you believe there's 4 pubs in Varrock? Let's start at the Dancing Donkey. Already I'm unsure about the name. Sounds like one of them quirky IPAs. It's another one of them quaint little micro pubs, but at least in this one you got a couple of boys sipping and sitting down. A pub can only be as good as the people inside of it. It's another standard 1 beer bar, but at least we've got a fat bartender. I like to see that. That's the everyman. The Jolly Boar, on the other hand, is a bit conflicting. There's a Black Knight here who's just popped in after his shift. If he's come from Edgeville at 5:30, it shows it's worth the travel. There's a cook and a range, so that means there's some good scram. But there's one big catch. I'm especially concerned about leaving the boozer and stepping right into a JoJo 3000 lure. After 6 pints, I'm risking it all for a green pea hat and a cash stack. Almost feels like a tourist trap. Great sized pub though. Shouldn't worry too much about seat availability. The Blue Moon Inn is the one you'll remember. Named appropriately after a Belgian style beer. Got a mix of folk in it. Barbarian lady and bloke with blood down him. I like the fireplace, although definitely too close to the stool. Arse on fire is a possibility. You can even settle the score with one of your mates over a game of Connect 4.
Cheers, Matt.
F***
Soul Rune supremacy.
We had a slight problem with the last pub though.
It's not down there.
It's down here. Unfortunately, I haven't done the quest, so I'm going to need you to tell me if that's any good. Blurberry's bar is a bit odd. There's a nice cocktail selection, but they're all pre-made? Does that mean they're like the 3 for £6 tinnies? And on top of that, there's nowhere to sit. And on top of that, there's a rogue range just on a platform. But it does get some points back for a unique view. And a stone's throw away is the Gnome Ball Field. Sports plus booze is a match made in heaven, but I'm afraid no beer on sale is automatic bottom tier. Next stop is the desert. We're at Polnivneach, in the Aspen Snake Bar. Completely different atmosphere, colour palette is flipped, but the quest stays the same. We're finally treated to a more interesting menu. I've gone for the grog. I'm a big fan of open air drinking. The balcony is the best spot in the house. As for entertainment, you've got the Snake Charmer going crazy on the windworks. And most importantly, there's a kebab shop just across the road. This is quintessential beer 101, and this is our first master boozer. The same can't be said for the bandit camp. You know, it's funny to me as a really old player to not see anyone trading with Guthans in here. There's an angry vibe here. Maybe it's the tension, or maybe it's because they're all holding knives. Isn't this the most ridiculous setup you've ever seen? Why is there 50 pumps? Does it get that busy? Honestly, best to grab one to go. Sit by the river. Still, it's a naff boozer. Let's retreat to some real nostalgia. The Barbarian Hall. I'm not a huge fan of the meat left out on the bare table, but the pints are golden and plentiful. The real allure of this location is the social aspect. Is there a more beautiful sight than seeing noobs in 2025? I'm an unk for this game. I've been playing on and off since around 07. But all I want to do is be one of these guys. Now I've got to grind hunter and farming for Elite Void. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to drink a beer and fish some salmon. I want to ask what cooking levels people have. This is a great boozer. It's a tragedy. In Bergderop, there's a boozer that was a boozer, but now it's no longer a boozer. Bit of an odd job at Port Phasmatis. We haven't got much in the way of roof paneling, nor do we have any of the ghosts in the bar. Honestly, I'm not impressed with the east side of the map. It's damp, it's depressing. A bit like the UK to be fair though. But we do have Robin Hood. Turns out he's a gambling addict. What a man. Our final hope is the town of Sleep. There's some finely dressed chaps in here, but I'm rather off put by the large stabby equipment on the walls. They've only got bloody braces on tap. As in, bloody braces, not bloody braces. And when it's drank, it's described that it feels evil. It gets interesting points. What does evil feel like? If you like a quiet place with themes of evil, this might be your best bet. Now, if you're an old school player, you might think all of this new stuff here is bad. That's how I felt. But bear with me on this because Kourend and Varlamore have some amazing details hidden within. Let me showcase to you some of the best. First off, let me take you to the Cloak and Stagger. So far this has easily got the best beer garden. Proper benches with proper brollies. We've got a nice little classic Japanese theme going on. I love the glow from the lanterns. Shame they spent all the money on the decorations because they couldn't get these guys a chair. Would you look at that, they even serve Asahi. A small but very decent menu, and the highlight of the bunch is the Lizard Kicker, which in some niche cases could be useful. A healthy +4 ranging boost is nothing to shake a stick at. It even doubles as an inn. We've got the small rooms with a cook chair, but if you've got the GP to spare, you can upgrade to the big room. Don't think it's funny that someone designed those pillows to be spread across that way. Only a fool would not put this as a master boozer. This is the prime example of how it's done. For this next one, I actually had some live commentary. Holy, look at the size of that barrel. Can they even reach the bar? I feel like whoever designed this didn't design it for small fellas. Oh, got drinks. Oh, Sunshine, Steam Forge Brew, Mining +1, delicious. This place was fairly forgettable. Can't even remember the name of it. Did have a darts board though. And a field full of the finest. Then I stumbled across a vineyard. I love a Malbec, so I had to get involved. Got a Gadgie stamping grapes front and centre. Even the capybaras getting involved. It did have a pub icon, but it's not really a pub. It's a wine bar, with an adequate wine cellar. Is this where they make xanthan gum? As we delve deep into the jungle, we stumble across the furthest pub from the mainland. But even a pub this remote has a lot to say for itself. Behind the bar there's some curious concoctions, and I'm a huge fan of the nature bed rooftop. The balcony comes equipped with cushions and a spot to sit in the shade. There's a huge choice selection from the bartender. Plenty of spirits and a couple of beers rounds out the selection. Crazy, even in such a far out location they still find a way to supply the biggest choice yet. On top of that, the locals are pretty sound as well. Here's the thing though, so much effort goes into this place, but like there's no reason why you would really come here as like a normal player. I'd love if they made it so that when you visit an inn, you could restore your HP, prayer, and all your stats. Everyone just goes to the Ferox Enclave for the pool anyway. Imagine how much life it would give to the game in these niche locations if you could do that. Instead of everyone teleporting to one spot, you'd see people all over the map nipping in for a pint. It's the proper British tradition. Maybe like a right-click rest at inn option, you know? Anyway, great boozer. This Karen one by the port is a bit strange. Plenty of statues, and plenty of taps, but no people. That's a bit strange. Not sure I like the looks of that. Mid. Oh my god, this place is loud, you can hear it from outside. Everyone's already pissed. And there's a piano, that's dangerous. That's when I spotted the colourful bottles, and I noticed the orchard outside. This is a cider bar. That explains a lot. Rowdy cider drinkers, man. Nice beer garden though. I'll ignore the rats. And another spot of Rune Link. Clean kitchen too. Not a great boozer for me, but it will be for someone else. Let me quickly gloss over a few mid tiers. This is mid. This is mid. And this is also mid. There is a pub down here, but I don't have the quest requirement to do it. This looks like where you go for a beer if you're like well hard. What's go to the bar, find out what they're serving for us.
Grog and rum.
Grog.
Or the third option, nothing.
Oh, sure, cheers, man. They've got a bit of a uniform going on there. Have you got anything interesting to say about this place or not?
I think it's a bit crap.
What exactly makes this a boozer? I see a dead
right
Chava on the wall. Mate, this is the naffest boozer I've ever seen. It's just a fucking dead bloke, a beer on a barrel, the same bartender from Brimhaven.
Is this not the Rising Sun Inn?
This is the Rising Sun Inn.
See, this is a proper boozer. Like, there's a little fella you can kick.
I think you can actually get some good drink here and all.
Yeah, but Wizzy Mind Bombs here. It's also used in the Dwarf quest for RFD.
There's a drunken man. It's me. They put me in the game. You just dropped him, man. I'm still talking to him. Can I buy a tray of beer from upstairs?
No way, he just dropped Chaos Runes.
No, oh, that's mint. Now you can cast a Firebolt.
You act like I've got all the runes on me. Yeah, I do. Firebolt. You know what's even funnier? Earthbolt.
Gotta be a bit of a mad lad to have a drink in the party room though. It's like getting pissed in a like wacky warehouse. Is this the boozer?
It's the boozer. Got Lucy and Megan.
Some
one beer, just single beers.
Just and beers.
I would say this is a decent one because you can deke the pie.
Because you can deke the pie.
Yeah, downstairs. All the balloons. And...
Problem is, there's no party going on though.
Hang on, if I chuck some balloons, see if you can see them.
I've got mixed feelings about Relica's long haul, you know. On one hand, they do have a skewered hog, and on that same hand, they do have a stage. Maybe some bad stand-up, or... They've also got plenty of fellas knocking about with a beer, and that beer's about the same size as their torso. Look at the size of that thing. But I'm not thrilled about the weather. I don't really want to go to somewhere where I have to wear a coat, you know? And it's got a rooftop agility course. If I'm pounding a beer, I don't want anyone pounding on the roof above me. There is a nice selection of beer, though. Let's get a keg. Whee! Now, if you head into Berthorpe Games Room, you will find a nice little bar at the front. But there's one big problem about Berthorpe Games Room. There's no one here. Look, they've got giant fire pits, a million different seats, and there's no one here. That says it all. It's an absolute ghost town, mate. Let's see what's on tap at least. Oh, you see, we've even got great selection. Dwarven Stout, Wizzy Mind Bomb, there's Ghanaian Ale. This is good. Why is no one here? I swear the last place was called the Chicken and Toad. Is this the same place, but not the same place? It's pretty run-of-the-mill inside. Oh, same stock as the pub in the games room. I suppose the one plus side to here is that there is a bank underneath. Not a big fan of spinning blades. Our journey finds its end in Shiloh Village. Thank you for making it this far. Before I unveil the top pick, let me know what you think. What's your favourite pub? The Shiloh Village Inn is nice. It feels like a resort holiday. You know, one of them ones where you don't really want to leave the resort complex? Best to stay in the safety of the gates. But for me, there was only ever one choice. It's in Polnivnich, with my boys, going to the Flaming Camel, and getting a fat kebab. Yes. Thank you so much to the best channel members to ever do it. Yeehoo Yee, Consnip, Aussie Will, Metal Pipe, Perseus, AE Null, Chance, Vanilla Gorilla, The Cougar Hunter, Evil Go Lily, Erasal V4, Fabiang, 178 Knight, Caffeine, Timster, Leonidas, Blue Jay, Pasty, Young Mallard. And finally, Ray Castin. Thank you all, love you all. See you soon.